Just watch basketball.
Phillips inside, all the way to the rim.
Slam back by Howard.
James
In full flight.
wanted it, got it.
Got it up. Oh, my! Wow!
We welcome you to Boston, where the Celtic fans have been re-energized all year. Another packed house tonight as the Celtics Big Three get ready to face off against LeBron James and the Cavaliers. Game 2 next.
Is your luck enough? Is your touch enough? Are you tough enough? Is your stuff enough? Let 'em roll, let 'em go, let 'em fly. You stole my wages of sin. Got to be in it to win. 9 lives, 9 times to die. I've been dead once, but I won't be twice shot. 9 lives, 9 times to die. You just live the rest of your 9 lives.
We welcome you to Game 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Kevin Garnett and the Celtics taking the opener as they defeated the Cavs in a physical, low-scoring contest, leading the series 1-0. Meanwhile, the other Eastern Conference semifinal, Orlando, big win last night to get them back in the series, although still down 2-1 to the Pistons. Good evening, everyone. Along with Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson, Mike Breen on hand. Michelle Tafoya will join us shortly. Boy, game 1 was strange and, yes, at times ugly, but it's the way the Celtics often win basketball games. Jeff, the reason they won 66 games because they were the best defense in the NBA. And here at home in the playoffs, they're even better at putting on a clinic the way they held the NBA's leading scorer to 2 for 18.
Well, they have one of the best defenses in the last 10 years because of the execution of a rock-solid scheme and the versatility of the defensive player of the year in Kevin Garnett. They took a page out of San Antonio's defensive playbook in how they defended LeBron James. Here on the pick and roll, they're going to double him off of every pick and roll and force him to take the jump shot while the help is supporting, protecting the lane. And then when he gets into isolation situations, they cushion him for the drive, encouraging the jump shot, which allows him to recover. And then sometimes stars just miss makeable shots. That could have tied the game at the end of game 1.
Amazing they had a chance to win despite that kind of game from LeBron James offensively. But he did some good things on the defensive end, including guard Paul Pierce. And you look at the Celtics, and certainly Kevin Garnett was brilliant in that fourth quarter and brilliant throughout the game. He had 28. But look at the other 2 All-Stars. Pierce, the lowest scoring playoff game of his career. Ray Allen in 37 minutes only took 4 shots. The key guy really is for Pierce. He was their leading scorer during the regular season. If they want to win a championship, he has to pick up his game now.
Well, sometimes you just got to give credit to the defense. LeBron James did an outstanding job defending Paul Pierce in game 1. Bigger, stronger, much more athletic. You take a look at a play that the Celtics run. Paul Pierce coming off a rough cut. Comes off, he's wide open. This is a layup normally. When you talk about LeBron James, quicker, explosive, able to recover, blocks the shot. Pierce with 2 field goals made in game 1. One on a fast break, the other one when he was defended by Delonte West. Smaller, he can exploit that matchup, get to the basket. LeBron James does a great job of making him work. Pierce has to get it going offensively.
Pierce in the 8 playoff games has only hit the 20-point mark twice, and he says he expects a big game too. Right now, let's check in with Michelle Tafoya. Hey, Michelle.
Well, hey, Mike. Yeah, LeBron James is coming off the worst shooting performance of his career. Just 2 for 18 from the floor in game 1, but nobody seems particularly worried except maybe the Celtics, because if you look at LeBron's lowest scoring outputs in his playoff career, you notice 3 things in common. 1, they all came on the road. 2, they were all against good defensive teams. And 3, he bounced back in every case. Mike, his coach, Mike Brown, told me, look, he's LeBron James, and he's carried me a lot of times, and he's going to carry me tonight.
All right, Michelle, you can hear it. The crowd is ready. The players and coaches are ready. We're ready, and you're ready at home as well. Game 2 coming up, the tip-off shortly. Let's go back to Mark Jones.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. And Celtics trying to win their first championship since 1986. Mark Jones along with Stephen A. Smith and John Barry. The second half of our doubleheader here on ESPN tonight featuring the New Orleans Hornets in San Antonio. New Orleans guys leading the series 2-0. Chris Paul has been the story of the series so far, averaging 24 points and 12 assists per game. John, it's not like nobody's seen the pick and roll that's working so well. How did they slow Paul down?
Well, this is the story of the year in my estimation. I had him as the MVP. I have no gripes with Kobe, but Chris Paul has been the man, and there's no way that the New Orleans Hornets are here right now if it weren't for this guy. Complete command of the game. He knows exactly where the ball needs to be at all times. He can get a shot anytime he wants, but he's a pass-first guy. He likes to get his teammates involved. His ability to get in the paint on the pick and roll, second to none. He's as good as anybody in the league. He recognizes what his team needs. He does it every night. He's unselfish, and he's a competitor. And I tell you what, New Orleans Hornets, I'm a believer now. I'm sorry. Up 2-0 against the Spurs, I believe.
I'm a believer. There's no question about that. I got to give him a lot of credit, even though I voted for Kobe Bryant. Okay. That was my pick, and the Lakers certainly would have been the #1 seed in the West if it were not for Kobe. But that's not to take anything away from Chris Paul. But keep your eyes on the Tyson Chandlers of the world, the Peja Stojakovic, the David West. These guys they've stepped up in this particular series against the San Antonio Spurs, and you really can't ignore Tyson Chandler in this course. He's long, he's lanky, he's got long arms, he focuses on defense and rebounding. This has been a big time impediment to Tim Duncan and that front line of the San Antonio Spurs in this series.
Yeah, Chandler, a good offensive rebounder, the best in the league during the regular season. Meanwhile, we talked about Chris Paul. Speaking of point guards, bad news for the Detroit Pistons last night in losing to the Orlando Magic. That series now in Detroit's favor, 2-1. Chauncey Billups straining his right hamstring. He said today he's not sure whether he'll be able to go in Game 4 on Saturday. Meanwhile, in coaching news, Mike D'Antoni of Phoenix, yes, still their head coach. He's interviewed with the Knicks and with the Bulls earlier this week. The Knicks expected to make him a staggering offer, but former son Charles Barkley finds the entire situation hypocritical. Here's what he had to say.
Mike D'Antoni wants to leave.
Yep.
But he don't have the to resign. He wants them to fire him. He wants to get paid and get another job. He wants to get his cake and eat it too. You know, he's trying to hold them hostage. You know, he knows he's going to get another job, but he wants his sons to fire him so he can get that $9 million they owe him.
Yeah.
It's very simple. If he had any whatsoever, he would say, you know what, I don't want to be here, but he wants them to fire him so he can get paid and get another job.
Well, Stephen A. Smith will have some comments on the Mike D'Antoni situation at halftime on the Toyota Halftime Show. D'Antoni, one of the most successful coaches in the league over the last few years. Well, the tip-off just a few moments away in Game 2 between the Boston Celtics and LeBron James's Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron trying to bounce back from a 2-for-18 performance in the last run.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs. Brought to you by State Farm, where great coverage meets great rates. Call, click, or visit and start saving today. And Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
This is LeBron James. As a member of the USA Basketball Men's Senior National Team, I know how important it is to be in the best physical shape. And when I'm on the court, I have a team pushing me to be the best I can be. The 50 million pound challenge is no different. If you're struggling to get into shape, we have just the team to help you. Sign up at 50millionpounds.com to start getting in the best shape of your life. Let's get this done together. Join the 50 million pound challenge.
Who could that be? Oh, wow. I'm there for you, buddy. That was Brad. He really wants to vent.
We should go.
Ready to vent?
Let's vent.
Let's vent.
Let's vent.
Introducing the vented wide mouth can from Coors Light. It lets in air for a smooth, refreshing pour.
Is he okay?
I think we'll be venting a little longer.
Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
You've done your research.
We went on cars.com, we compared models side by side, and I didn't have to resort to plan B.
What's plan B?
I was going to have you eat these brownies, which I mixed with a horse laxative.
Excuse me.
My husband kind of has a sweet tooth.
Good luck keeping up.
Critics and audiences have been blown away by the #1 movie in America.
That's not bad.
Time magazine says it's Iron Man to the rescue, and Rolling Stone calls it spectacular.
That's kind of catchy.
Iron Man, rated PG-13.
A fallen leader, a child left motherless, a survivor in search of answers. It's only the beginning of the dangers to come. Tonight at 10/9 Central.
Torch the island.
Come on, come on, come on, come on!
An all-new Lost.
The only way to save our lives is to get our people off that island. He's gonna kill everyone. Everyone.
All new Lost. Tonight at 10/9 Central. After a new Grey's Anatomy on ABC.
If you think about it, this is a lot like most job search sites. They let everyone in, so the best people can't stand out. Join The Ladders, the premium job site for only 100K plus jobs and only 100K plus job seekers.
If you turn the ball over, the turnover is not the sin, it's not getting back, all right? We can't give this team easy baskets. They struggle scoring with our defense. It's a crime to give them easy baskets, all right? Then last thing, trust, set picks, and trust, all right? That's our game plan. Let's go.
No surprise, Doc Rivers talking about turnovers. His team had 23 in game one, but they still came away with a victory as Garnett gets himself ready. And we show you our starting lineups presented by Sonic here for game two. And for the Cavaliers, Adrunas Ilgauskas played well in game one. Ben Wallace, LeBron James, Delonte West, and Wally Szczerbiak rounding out the starting five for Mike Brown and the Cavaliers. And for the Celtics, of course, the big three, Kendrick Perkins filling his role beautifully in game one. And Rajon Rondo also a terrific first half in game one for the Celtics to take the opener in this Eastern Conference semifinal. The ritual, Garnett and LeBron James both like doing that. Let's get the rosin. Let's get everybody coughing to start the game. You superstitious athletes, Mark Jackson.
What about if you got on a nice suit, a nice dark black or navy blue suit? He throws that on you.
Take one for the team.
Come on, you're better than that, fellas.
What's so different? They got all these pyrotechnics now. Everything's smoky and cloudy.
We promise a clear picture by mid-second quarter. Meanwhile, we talk so much about the Celtic defense. They certainly did it in game one, not just on LeBron James, but overall 31% shooting for the Cavaliers. Garnett, he is the leader of that defense, Jeff.
He is, and they're an outstanding defensive team, and Cleveland's a limited offensive team because only LeBron James can beat you off the dribble consistently.
You know, we talk about the Boston defense. Cleveland's defense has been pretty good in the playoffs as well, Mark.
Really on a string, on a cord, trying to take the basketball away from the guys that can hurt them most. Kept the ball in the hands of Paul Pierce and was very effective.
First shot from James won't go. Ben Wallace tips it out and gets him a new 24.
And that is what Cleveland can do. They have to make three-point shots around James and create second shots because they have a size advantage. And Ilgauskas is the other weapon. He quietly had a very good first game, 22 points.
He's had one of his best years, regular season and playoffs. And we talk about it all the time. When Big Z has been healthy, he puts up the numbers. And he's given the Celtics problems. Delonte West and Rondo, the former teammates, now going against each other here in the second round. Pierce on James. So Pierce's defense getting a lot of credit. Ilgauskas has such a soft touch for a guy 7'3".
Good read by Ben Wallace. Catches the basketball and finds Ilgauskas off of the play made by LeBron.
Rondo, as we mentioned, had a terrific first half. Rondo and Sam Cassell, the 2 point guards for Boston, excellent in game 1. Ray Allen misfires. Rebound. Garnett. There's James, who said it was not the worst game of his career, but it's certainly the worst shooting night of his career. 2 for 18. Didn't make any excuses as Ilgauskas turns and puts it in. What I like about LeBron James, he gave credit to the Celtic defense. He said, hey, they're a great defensive team. They did an excellent job.
Which is not normal when you talk about today's players. It's more so what they did not do as opposed to giving credit to the defense. Good job by the defense, forcing him to be a jump shooter.
Bad pass and a turnover. And it's amazing. They had a 2-point lead with a minute and a half to go. They had a chance to tie it in the final seconds, despite the leading scorer in the league having a night like that. Meanwhile, the Celtics will tell you the same thing. It's amazing we won, despite the fact there's a reach-in foul was called. Reach-in foul goes against Rondo. Doc Rivers will say, hey, our main guy, Paul Pierce, was 2 for 14. Ray Allen didn't score in 37 minutes. So you both talk about different things that can be done better.
And I like what the Celtics have come out and done. In the first 2 sets, they've gone to Ray Allen off a pin down, trying to get him involved and in rhythm.
Ball deflected. Reach-in foul on Garnett. So Garnett picks up his first. Of course, it's always critical in the playoffs, getting quick fouls. Talking to Doc Rivers before the game, he said one of the reasons Pierce has not been in the perfect flow so far in the playoffs is he picking up quick fouls.
The one thing I like that he's doing is he's taking the challenge of defending LeBron James. Not just going through the motions, but denying him the basketball, really playing him off the ball.
Ilgauskas 3 for 3. He's been doing that his whole career. You leave him open, he'll knock it down.
Well, and again, that's off a pin down. So instead of picking and going to the rim, he's spacing out to 17 feet. Good rotation by Garnett, but he's just shot it up over the top.
Shot clock down to 5. James on Pierce. Rondo left open for a one-handed push shot. Ben Wallace, good quick outlet. James falls down, lost the ball. Both teams were sloppy in game 1. Rondo to the basket, knocked away by Wallace, and Zerbiak comes up with it. Here's the importance of Ben Wallace. Already a couple of his usual intangible plays.
Well, those are the things that Mike Brown is going to need from Ben Wallace, because if he does not bring those things to the table, then he is a liability on the floor.
Ilgauskas will try it again. 4 for 4 for Big Z.
If you're LeBron James, you love the fact that Ilgauskas is opening up the ball game on fire. That will create space for you later on down the stretch of the ball game.
He had 22 points and 12 rebounds in game 1. Off to an excellent start here. Garnett and Wallace. There's the double. Rondo blocked by Ilgauskas.
And Rondo provides a lot of good things, but they are double teaming off of him to try to congest against the best shooters and scorers on the Celtics. A good rotation by Ilgauskas to block that shot.
Garnett the steal. He's amongst the leaders in the playoffs in steals, as Ben Wallace is called for his first foul.
I remember playing against Ilgauskas in the playoffs when I was with the Pacers, and he's with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Big-time post-up player, can knock down the jump shot, and his length on the defensive end could really disrupt what you're trying to do offensively. Says the Rondo, not on my watch.
So a quick substitution. Ben Wallace coming right out, and they quickly go to a 10 to Wallace. I think that's why he made the foul. Something happened to him. Anderson Varejao comes in for the first time. Their energy man off the bench. Perkins down low, blocked, but a foul. Ilgauskas his first. Then Perkins will go to the line. So Mike Brown, who has done a terrific job. This is his 3rd year as head coach. They won 50 games last year. This year winning 45, of course, going to the NBA Finals before being swept by the San Antonio Spurs, his former team. And he has completely changed the mindset in terms of the Cavs are now one of the better defensive teams in the NBA.
So being groomed in San Antonio with Greg Popovich, being a guy that was with Bernie Bickerstaff with the Denver Nuggets, certainly starts on the defensive end, and that's how they have turned things around in Cleveland.
They are still attending to Ben Wallace down on the Cavs bench. He appears obviously to be in some kind of discomfort. And the free throw is no good from Perkins. Here's West. West part of that huge trade in which the Cavaliers got 4 players. 3 of them have become starters. Zerbiak knocks down the shot. And what a dimension he can add if his shot is on.
Well, he's not afraid of the moment. The only thing he turns down is his collar. If he has a wide open look, he's going to shoot.
That's one of the worst lines I've ever heard in my time.
So you're saying I shouldn't have laughed? I'm enabling him?
Oh, man. Because it took thought, too.
We don't want to encourage bad humor. Yeah, that was his setup. He had that line this afternoon ready.
No, give me credit. It's spur of the moment.
Perkins tied up. Garnett knocked away by Verjao. 2 on the shot clock. Garnett banks it in and out and in again. Perkins getting a little more physical now with Ilgauskas. James misses the jumper. Pierce, that's a 3. It's good.
One of the problems off of that play, Garnett hits Pierce on the perimeter, but LeBron James stops short. You have to close out all the way to the shooter and make him put the ball on the floor.
Crowd already into it, chanting defense. The Celtic defense during the playoffs here at home has been absolutely magnificent. As we have a whistle, Mike Brown doing a dance. A defensive 3 seconds called against Boston, so a technical foul. But what the Celtics have done in the 5 games here, they've won all 5 of them. Opponents are scoring just 76 points a game against them and shooting 35%. Those are incredible numbers.
Well, it's great when you have a strategy and a game plan, and when you're able to live with those things. You look at the Celtics, they are making LeBron James a jump shooter. They're saying if you're going to beat us 4 games, it's going to have to be from the perimeter. You're not going to beat us with your strength, and they've done it all season long, including the first round against the Hawks.
Impressive numbers there in all 5 games. Of course, they're going to have to start playing as well defensively on the road. That was not the case in the first round series, as they lost the 3 games in Atlanta. Zerbiak 2 for 2. And after the horrible shooting in game 1, the Cavaliers have come out, hit 6 of their first 8 from the field.
Everyone, when the trade was made for Zerbiak, had a tough time finding a rhythm offensively, was really struggling from the perimeter. Shooters shoot. You knew it was just a matter of time before he began to feel comfortable.
Another defensive 3 seconds, this one against Delonte West. Defenders, if they're in the paint, have to be within guarding distance of their man, otherwise get out of the paint before the 3 seconds. West did not, and a 1-shot technical once again. And Wallace still down there. And Ray Allen, one of the premier free throw shooters who's ever played the game, misses a free throw.
And I really like Cleveland's defensive strategy of clogging the lane off of Rondo. Delonte West is being very active. He just got called for the defensive 3 violation, but it's his activity in clogging the lane that's going to allow them to make it very difficult on the top 3 players of the Celtics.
Pierce steps back, another 3. That one way off the mark. And James the rebound. James, in addition to the 2 for 18, also had 10 turnovers. It was just a nightmare game offensively. That time, drives, can't finish. Up and in on a second effort.
You can see his mind was made up in that possession. Put the ball on the floor, took it to the body of the Celtic defenders, and then second shot opportunity.
Ben Wallace going back to the Cavs locker room now. Finally was able to get up. Bad pass from Rondo. Rondo has been so good coming into this one. His assist to turnover ratio, especially at home, has been just superb. And that's Wallace going back. Jump shot missed. West on the rebound. And they get the new 24.
Your Doc Rivers, the concern right now is your team is being outworked on both ends of the floor,
which rarely happens against Boston. Zerbiak too strong. And Garnett tips it to Perkins. Ball poked away by Verjao. Pierce against James. Paul Pierce off to a good start. I think for Pierce the other day, game 1, he didn't have a free throw, and he gets to the line as much as most of the top players in the NBA.
It's one of the few matchups he's in that he doesn't have a size and strength advantage.
Oh, and there's your reason why James made that look easy. The pass was a little behind him, yet he still finished.
And that was poor body position by Paul Pierce. You've got to force him to use the screen and make him a jump shooter, as Mark said, instead of allowing him to catch at the rim.
Rondo, nice feed inside. Perkins blocked by West. And West setting it up. You know, we talk about LeBron James and Paul Pierce. Neither have been known for their defense. Nice feed inside. West shot won't go. Perkins the rebound. Stolen by West, and he's fouled on the pass. Are you seeing better defense from both of those guys this year, Mark? Pierce and LeBron James?
Well, absolutely, and I really like what I'm seeing in this series. They've taken the challenge to defend one another. You talk about LeBron James offensively has all of a sudden put his foot on the gas pedal, making plays, second shot opportunities, and then you overplay him, you pay the price. Put it upstairs, and I will do the rest.
Different start for the Cavaliers. They're 57% from the field.
Sometimes luxury needs to howl at the moon. Find a rare grass-fed steak in a red leather booth and invite all its friends. This is 5.1 surround sound luxury. Luxury advanced. The all-new, totally redesigned Acura TSX. A new generation has arrived. Acura. Advance.
Get ready for a laugh-out-loud comedy.
What we want is the money.
That makes a scene out of the crime.
If you didn't have that gun, I'll come over there and whoop you.
It's hip and hilarious.
Bingo. Yahtzee.
First Sunday, now on DVD and Blu-ray High Def.
Chili cheese sense? How about it? You know, I try and live my life by the 3 C's as often as I possibly can.
The 3 C's?
Chili, cheese, coney.
How does that guide you? Live your life by chili cheese coney?
I follow the path of the coney. That I can tell you.
This is too much.
And chili to you, my son.
99-cent regular chili cheese coney. Now at Sonic. A hearty dose of Sonic deliciousness for just 99 cents. And stop in for happy hour. Half-price fountain drinks and slushes every day from 2 to 4 p.m.
At Mike's Hard Lemonade, we have lots of good ideas, like coming up with the perfect combination of lemonade and alcohol. Or Mike's Hard Light Lemonade. Or, check this out, Mike's Hard Double Caffeinated Soy Lemonade.
Joey, what you got there?
The little idea I came up with is...
We don't do soy, okay?
We don't do soy.
In a world gone soft, someone's got to be hard. Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Cuba, try this new Comfort Soft waistband. It's really comfortable. MJ. Michael, thanks for the underwear. I'm wearing your underwear! That you gave me to wear.
The Comfort Soft waistband, tagless and wrapped in cotton. Only from Hanes.
Oh!
Mark Jones back in the studio with SportsCenter right now. Former Patriots employee Matt Walsh has sent the NFL 8 tapes which reveal New England recorded play calling signals of 6 different games between 2000 and 2002. And in basketball news, Chauncey Billups of the Pistons, still sore a night after suffering that hamstring injury, says he's not sure he'll be ready to play in Saturday's Game 4. And Mike, the complexion of a series can change with an injury like that. Back to you.
You're certainly right, Mark. And right now, the Cavaliers concerned about one of their players, Ben Wallace, back in the locker room. Now, Wallace before the game, this 20 minutes before the game, a lot of guys get in situations like this. They're meditating, gathering themselves. Don't know if that was the case with Wallace, but you think about it, maybe it wasn't, because here's once the game started. Watch as Wallace runs up the court. He's in the middle of the floor. He's going to raise up his hand right there, the left hand, to say, get me out of the game. Obviously, he didn't feel well. And then when the next whistle came, they got him out of the game. And the problem was, as he started going to the bench, clearly he wasn't feeling well. He committed the foul to stop the clock. And watch as he walks over to the bench, losing his balance. And they sat with him on the bench for several minutes before bringing him back to the Cavalier locker room. Let's get the latest from Michelle.
Well, what I'm told, Mike, is that he's back here in the locker room because he's extremely dizzy, and obviously you saw evidence of that on the court. They had him laying on his back, leading some people to think maybe there was a back issue, but all the other evidence suggests extreme dizziness, and that's the only thing we have right now. He got dizzy. They're tending to him in the locker room. Right now, we don't know anything about his return, Mike.
All right, hopefully it'll be okay. You never can tell, and you're going to take every precaution, obviously, as Ilgauskas hits another jumper.
Before the game, LeBron James said he wanted to do less dribbling and more passing, and he's playing off less dribbles tonight. There, one dribble, easy touch pass to Ilgauskas for the wide open 15-footer.
And Mike Brown saying the same thing. It's all about ball movement. Meanwhile, Leon Pope comes in as Perkins will sit down. And there you see those two, led by Ilgauskas, who's 5 for 5 from the field, and a 10-point lead for Cleveland. Perkins had some blood, so Joey Crawford had to blow the whistle, get him out of the game, and he'll attend to it. Regular certain a long-time athletic trainer doing his excellent work. Poe deflects it out of bounds. Cavs ball.
I really like what Delonte West is doing on the defensive end in disrupting rhythm of shots and clogging the lane.
West came over in the big trade as James has it on the drive inside, banks it in, and LeBron James able to knock it in. It's 21-9.
Celtics doing a poor job defensively. LeBron also had Ilgauskas again wide open, but decided to attack the paint.
Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay the same way. Crowd wanted a foul, and we'll have a timeout. LeBron James said he had no trouble sleeping after the nightmare offensively challenged game 1. And his team off to a superb start.
Now you see Ilgauskas open, but instead LeBron gets through the thick of things. The body control off the glass. The bank is open. It's late, and LeBron is putting on a show.
Three, 2, 1. Clock winds down. Bye. 3, 2, 1 second left. 3, 2, 1. Crowd goes wild.
3, 2, 1. Hey, Dad.
For the game and all of us, Kia Motors, official automotive partner of the NBA.
You deserve a meal made for men.
Introducing Taco Bell's Big Box Meal. A bean burrito, crunchy taco, cinnamon twist, a large drink, and featuring the Bacon Club Chalupa.
Eat like a man.
Become the perfect weapon. Become Jason Bourne. The Bourne Conspiracy. Download the demo today. T for teen.
Bud Light is brewed to give you everything you want in a beer. Never-ending refreshment, superior drinkability, and now the power to turn into a cute little doggy.
Watch and learn. Hey, cutie.
Are you lost?
Yeah, and I need a bath.
I just want to take you home with me. But first we'd have to get you fixed.
Dude, trouble.
Power to turn into a cute little doggy no longer available in Bud Light.
No.
The superior drinkability, however, remains.
Bud Light keeps it coming.
Okay, forget the bath. I'm good.
There's so many emotions at the end of the season, and nobody likes to talk about it. But one of them is fear. Fear that you come this far, and it could all end. The dream could die. But me, I like the fear. It means I'm close. It means I'm ready.
Here in Boston, the courtside celebrities aren't Hollywood actors. They're former Celtics. Of course, he also has a job here in Boston. Pretty important one. Danny Ainge, amongst a number of former Celtics. JoJo White in attendance as well. They're littered throughout the arena. Cornbread Maxwell, who does the color on the radio broadcast for the Boston Celtics. Meanwhile, LeBron James is one of those young players who knows about the history of the game, knows about the history in Boston, and says his favorite Celtic, number 33.
Well, yeah, Larry Bird was definitely, my favorite Celtic growing up. The way he approached the game of basketball, the way he shot the basketball, and I think the way he led his team, you know, every night, even though they had other guys on their team, Dennis Johnson, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, other greats that played for that Celtic team. Larry Bird was their leader, you know, and they looked up to him, and, you know, he led by example.
Not surprising that that's his guy in terms of great Celtics.
He knows what he's talking about, as opposed to our partner over there said Dave Cowens was his favorite. You're talking about Larry Bird, and I had the privilege of playing for him and going to the final.
What do you mean the privilege? All you ever did was say you knew more than he did about basketball.
Oh, you're going to start trouble?
Yeah, I'm starting trouble.
Are you kidding me? He's a basketball genius.
If you're going to knock my pick of Dave Cowens, I'm starting trouble. And, Mike, I want to add one to my favorite Celtics. He's my co-favorite, Reggie Lewis. I loved Reggie Lewis as a player.
And, of course, the tragedy with Lewis, what a great player he would have been, and certainly was. And not the only one, as we mentioned. They're all over the place. Tommy Heinsohn, who does the Celtic TV. You know, the first year, he was part of the first Celtic championship team. Game 7, his numbers, 37 points, 23 rebounds. He was a rookie.
I want to think, what are they drinking here? All these guys look good. Did you see JoJo White? My goodness, JoJo looked young, like he could still play.
And you know what I love about Tommy Heinsohn as a broadcaster? His objectivity. I love that about him. No homer in Tommy.
They love him here in Boston and always have. Poe inside, blocked by Zerbiak, but a foul from behind. And the Celtics will go to the free throw line. Of course, all the championships keeps you young when you're walking around Boston. They love their Celtics here, and that's why it's been so much fun. It's been a while since the Celtics have been good. They feel they have a shot to put number 17 up in the rafters.
Think about it. 10 players are in the Hall of Fame, and they didn't even get their numbers retired. That's incredible.
It's a very crowded rafters.
What's more incredible to me is that you did that math that quick.
Thank you.
This year they're in the second round for the first time in 5 years. They've missed the past couple of playoffs. As Leon Poe gets to the line. Poe, as we've mentioned, throughout the playoffs and throughout the regular season, what a big part of the rotation he's become. Second-year player out of Cal. A second-round pick by the Nuggets, was traded to Boston. Only 2 years of college. Doc Rivers said he's one of the favorite players to coach. Whatever you tell him, he does. Doesn't say a lot, just plays hard. Daniel Gibson in and out. And Posey the rebound. Cassell's already hit his first shot. He's been terrific at home in the playoffs. Has struggled on the road. Pierce trying to draw a foul. And he does. It's going to go against LeBron James. That'll be his first as we go to Michelle.
Hey, Mike, some encouraging news from the Cavaliers locker room. Ben Wallace's dizziness seems to be dissipating. I spoke with team GM Danny Ferry. He called it a moment of vertigo for Ben. He is laying down right now in the locker room. They're just going to let him rest and see how his head feels, see how he progresses, and then make a decision in a little while about whether or not he's going to come back tonight, Mike.
I mean, you never know what could lead to something like that in terms of preparation for the day. You get so keyed up before the game. Pierce getting inside and to down. Paul Pierce is already with 7 points. He only had 4 the entire game 1. Joe Smith seeing his first minutes. Turnaround from Smith, rattles it in.
Love the patience on the block, taking advantage of the smaller Poe, puts the body on him, turnaround jump shot by Smith.
Coming up on a minute remaining. Again, Cavaliers a different start offensively. P.J. Brown way off. Zerbiak the rebound. James. Posey deflects it. James gets it back and falls out of bounds. Posey doesn't like the call, but he was in the wrong place, wrong time. And picks up his first. What a job Posey did in game 1 defending James.
With the loose ball. That is, see, here's my problem with that. It's a foul, but it's an exaggeration of the contact to try try to draw attention to the foul. To me, the change that needs to be made as far as this flopping is anytime a guy exaggerates the contact, there is no foul call. Secondly, I'd have a point system like they do with technicals and flagrant fouls so that when they go back and watch a game, you get a certain number of flops, and once you flop that many times, you're suspended. And the final thing may be a little bit off the wall. They've got to wear a scarlet F on their jersey so the referees know who the floppers are.
Did you say maybe a little bit off the wall?
I like it, though. I like it. Identify those guys.
You never need to preface anything what you say about being off the wall. But the league office last year went to the competition committee and asked them about the possibility of instituting something with flopping. They're going to do it again this year. Competition committee meeting shortly as Cassell knocks it down. And that idea about the point system to go back and review, it's a good idea. It's very difficult to call during the course of the game the severity of a flop.
That's why I go back and have every game reviewed and keep your point tallies just like they do with flagrant fouls, and they review those. But see, to me, this goes beyond the competition committee. Forget them. It's up. No, seriously. David Stern, he has authority to do when it's in the best interest of the game. He should do that.
And they'll take a good hard look at it like they tried last year. James at the buzzer. Off the mark. LeBron James hit more field goals already than he did the entire game one, but he got a lot of help. James was 3 for 8. He had 7 points. Ilgauskas 5 for 5 with 10 points. And the Cavs, who were brutal offensively in game one, shot 52%. And an even better sign, Ben Wallace back from the Cleveland locker room. First quarter complete here in game 2. 7-point Cleveland lead.
Be careful, Jimmy.
I'm fine, Mom.
I'm bored. Can you hear me now?
Good, because we're going to need 2 rooms with king-sized beds and a spa treatment for my wife.
We test our network every day.
Spa treatment, honey.
So you get America's most reliable network, Verizon Wireless. This Mother's Day, get Mama Venus with a touchscreen, or for just $99, get her a pink pearl.
Let the drama kick die. Let the drama
This isn't the soft kind of luxury.
Let the drama kick. Let the drama
This is start a business, sell it, and then start another one luxury. This is advanced digital IV tech luxury. It can find you an uncrowded highway or a crowded club. Introducing the Acura TSX. A new generation has arrived. Acura, advanced.
When you're on the go, you need a one-handed snack with a two-handed taste. Wendy's new Chicken Go Wraps. They're not strips like some other wraps. They're made with only tender center-cut chicken breast in home-style, spicy, or grilled, each just $1.49. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Now eat way better, way later.
How big will you go? The official X Games Moto Bike, built for performance. 20-inch suspension, Moto X frame, linear pull front and rear brakes, and Moto X styled saddle and fenders. Ride Moto X style. The X Games Moto Bike, available at your local Walmart store. Assembly required.
I walk this road alone, sentenced for my sins. But what defines criminal does not define me. Judge not, lest ye be judged. I've played your game. Now, amen.
WWE Judgment Day, live Sunday, May 18th on DirecTV pay-per-view.
My life is being sabotaged by talking chipmunks.
That hurts, Dave. That really hurts.
Meet Alvin.
You know, this is nice. Ow! Wow, chicka wow wow.
Simon.
Who's that?
A housekeeper.
And Theodore.
Can I sleep with you?
Sure, but stay on that side of the bed. Get out!
I'm waiting for the ring cycle.
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Mavericks have the lead here in Boston. Mike Brown, Ben Wallace just walked out of the locker room. What do you know about his condition and whether or not he can play?
He can play. I don't know what condition he has, but I know he can play. That's all they told me.
All right, good enough. Better offensive start in this game than game one. What's the difference here?
The biggest thing, we got to get the ball from one side of the floor to the other, and maybe even a couple of times on the same possession. We got to drive the ball aggressively and keep the floor space the right way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike?
Thanks, Michelle. Jeff, what did you see that first quarter?
Well, like Coach Brown said, LeBron James was attacking off the dribble. All good things happen when you attack the rim. Here he misses his first shot, quick second jump and a finish, and then because Ilgauskas had got off to a great start, they left the double team early, and what a contortionist left-hand finish, and then here, that's just unexplainable. How one man can get up so high with so much control and so much power. Until you're around that guy and you see him up close, you don't see how big he truly is.
Coming off an incredible regular season where he averaged 30 a game, led the NBA in scoring, also 7-7 in terms of assists and rebounds. Only the third player to ever put up those kind of numbers besides Jordan and Oscar Robertson. Pierce got hit. At least he thought he did. Still Celtic ball with 8 on the shot clock. Doc Rivers pleading his case.
Very interesting. They put LeBron James on Sam Cassell to try to take away the post-up game and the pick-and-roll game, and they've got Gibson hidden on Posey, who's not a post-up player. Pierce, though, was hurt on that play.
It looks like it's his right hand. Nicholas Surtees been a busy man in the early going. Ray Allen's going to come in for him. Let's take a look. To the left, you see the hand coming down. Looked like the left hand from the smack.
And that was a foul. That was a foul. They grabbed him on his right arm as he was going to the rim.
Again, he's off to a good start after the struggles. He did play good solid defense on LeBron James, drew a couple of charges as Pavlovich hits Cassell. Now it's the right thumb, not the left one, which appeared to be the one on the play. Looks like a little blood there. Oh, it was on Pavlovich. It was the second strip. Looked like he got fouled twice.
I think the good news for the Celtics is it looks like the nail where it's bleeding a little bit as opposed to the knuckle where it could be, a sustained injury.
So you like the sight of blood?
Oh, you would know a basketball injury. Related to bowling or something like that.
I had a junior college coach named Bud Presley. He's one of the great coaches of all time. And he said something that I believe to this day. Blood cleanses the soul. It makes you feel better about yourself when you get a little bloody.
Was Coach the first person to say that?
Yeah. Coach, that only guy I knew. It sort of scared me.
24-18. Cavs by 6. Ilgauskas lines it up, and Ilgauskas remains perfect. 6 for 6 for Big Z.
You gotta love LeBron James' IQ for the game of basketball, looking to get the ball into the hands of the hot shooter, Ilgauskas.
Nice pass inside. Poe hitting the head. And that's the beauty of both Garnett and LeBron James, is how unselfish they are as team leaders.
So you recognize a guy is on fire, knocking down shots. Well, be the bait guy. Set up the defense, draw the defense, get the ball to the hot hand. Does a great job of finding, getting into the seams, and then Ilgauskas all by himself. This is a pregame jump shot, on fire early.
Celtics, meanwhile, struggling from the free throw line in the early going. Now 3 for 8. Reminder, Sunday on TNT, Game 4 between New Orleans and San Antonio, 8 Eastern start. And then Monday on TNT, Game 4 of this series, as they'll be in Cleveland, 8 Eastern start. And our guys from TNT. Of course, this is the first game of a doubleheader on ESPN tonight. San Antonio and New Orleans in Texas tonight, the second game of the doubleheader. Boy, the Hornets looking so impressive at winning the first 2 games easily. Gibson to James. Quick turnaround is short. Cassell draws the foul. No shot. The outside. That's the 3rd team foul for Cleveland. 2nd on Ilgauskas. I think LeBron James caused that foul. So James is going to get his first rest as Delonte West returns. An 8-point lead for Cleveland. And up by as many as 12. P.J. Brown the finish.
Tell you what, Sam Cassell has done an outstanding job coming in off the bench offensively, competes defensively, and he has been a playmaker.
Well, this is a good series for him as far as defensively because he doesn't have guys who are trying to break him down off the dribble.
Ilgauskas tied up. His first miss. Posey had it, lost it, and then got it again. Cole pushing. Ray Allen for three. Allen still looking for his first points of the series. As we mentioned, 37 minutes in game one, but he only took 4 shots. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Verjao to the basket, and they'll call it in the act of shooting. So some free throws coming up for Anderson Verjao, and there's Allen. Of course, he came over in the trade from Seattle. And we talk about Garnett and his leadership. Well, Ray Allen's been the same thing. He loves to help mentor some of the younger players. In fact, during the playoffs, Rajon Rondo and Kendrick Perkins and Leon Powe have all been going over Allen's house on the off nights when the Celtics don't play to watch the playoff games. He likes bringing the young guys over. Said his mom's been in town. She does a lot of cooking. All part of the team unity. Wherever Ray Allen has gone, the younger players always rave about him in terms of the type of leadership and how he's made them feel welcome in the NBA.
That's getting it done as a veteran. That's what you have to do. Set the tone and embrace the young players.
Hey, the young players should start rebounding for him at night. Forget Eaton. He's got to start making some shots.
Cassell's made some early shots. West putting on some pressure. Good defense from Delonte West. Shot clock down to 6. Posey gonna have to put it up and nails. That's a 2-pointer. His foot was on the line. Boy, we talk about Garnett and Allen. The addition of Posey has been huge for this team.
He's a knockdown shooter and an outstanding one-on-one and team defender.
Gibson misses. Posey the rebound. Made some big plays the other night defensively. Big free throws. Of course, he's got a championship ring with Miami a couple of years ago. Poe can't get it to fall, gets it again. Strip, but a reach-in foul is going to be called against Cleveland. Boobie Gibson picking up the personal. That's his first.
So the advantage of having a guy like Posey come off your bench, realizes that the clock is dwindling down, the pump fake, steps into a rhythm too, off of Gibson biting for the pump fake.
He didn't practice yesterday. He's been bothered by a hip injury. The Celtic bench with half of Boston's points. P.J. Brown, offensive foul, not a smart play, as Verjao draws the charge.
And Mike, there's the difference between Ilgauskas and a P.J. Brown. Ilgauskas, instead of going to the rim on that double team of Ray Allen, would have stepped back to 15 feet. P.J. Brown used to feel very comfortable shooting that shot. Instead, he goes to the rim. Maybe it's because of lack of playing time. He just doesn't feel the confidence right now to make that shot.
Well, it shows you how effective Cleveland is defending Ray Allen. They are double teaming him off pick and rolls, off of pin downs. They are forcing him to get rid of the basket.
Joe Smith short. Brown the rebound. He's comfortable doing that. Celtics are down by as many as a dozen here in the first half. Cole makes his move on Verjao. Nice fake. Won't go. Second effort. He's become a fan favorite with his hustle.
I think if you're Sam Cassell, the mindset has to be pushing the ball and get Ray Allen something going in transition as opposed to set out.
P.J. Brown the steal. The Celtic bench coming out big here in this second period. Allen to Brown. 1-point game as they've come back from 12 down.
We gave so much credit to LeBron James being unselfish. That time Ray Allen understood he would be trapped and gave the basketball to P.J. Brown.
Here comes the first roar of the night.
Well, the Boston bench has played very, very well after a very poor start to the game. Here, Poe spinning, missing, attacking for a second shot and a tip-in, and then P.J. Brown, after making a mistake on the first play and getting a charge, knocks it down from 20 feet, and Kevin Garnett loves it as Boston's cut it to 1.
Drinking a vitamin water energy, LeBron James found the energy to try ruling another court. He's quickly become the most dominant defense attorney in the state of Ohio.
These documents show my client had nothing to do with this man falling down the elevator shaft, but I don't need him. Was Nikki versus Oregon proves that we are free from the tyranny of false accusation. Besides, objection! Dude's faking. I rest my case.
Vitamins, electrolytes, no sodium, vitamin water, try it.
Dodge is protecting you from high gas prices.
Announcing the Dodge $2.99 gas guarantee.
Right now, when you buy or lease most Dodge vehicles, you'll pay just $2.99 a gallon for gas or diesel in each of the next 3 years for up to the first 12,000 miles per year. It's our $2.99 gas guarantee.
Dodge is coming through for you with relief at the pump just when you need it most. Hurry to your Dodge dealer today for the $2.99 gas guarantee. Let's refuel America.
7, 6, 5, 4, 8, run!
The few, the proud, the Marines.
Your check bounced. I can't make the rent.
Fight on the undercard. It's worth $250,000.
The fight is fixed. I'm ending the charade.
From acclaimed writer-director David Mamet.
You go nowhere.
Red Belt, rated R. Now playing Select City starts tomorrow in theaters everywhere. A fallen leader, a child left motherless, a survivor in search of answers. It's only the beginning of the dangers to come. Tonight at 10/9 Central.
Torch the island.
Come on, come on, come on, come on!
An all-new Lost.
The only way to save our lives is to get our people off that island.
He's gonna kill everyone. Everyone.
All new Lost. Tonight at 10/9 Central. After a new Grey's Anatomy on ABC.
ESPN has more NBA playoff action Friday night, 9 Eastern. Lakers now head to Salt Lake City, toughest place in the NBA to win this year during the regular season, but they've got a 2-0 lead. Coverage starts at 8 Eastern with Kia NBA shoot-around. Here in Boston, Game 2, Doc Rivers' team was down by 12, and he let them know what he thought during a recent timeout.
We got one team more active than the other team, all right? All the loose balls, we're forcing it. Relax, guys. Simple passes. Now let's make a run. Now let's make our run. Let's go, baby. One.
And they certainly did make that run. Rivers in his 4th year here in Boston. He says one of the things that helped him become a good coach was he played different roles as a player. He played 13 years in the league. He was an all-star. He also was a role player. And he also was injured. He said he knew what it like to be in a lot of different areas of a player, and that's helped him coach different types of players on his team.
The thing I love about it, he can relate to all the guys. He's been in every one of those situations, what you just touched on. Just a veteran coach that understands which buttons to push.
Ball poked away. Another turnover, and Posey with a finish. And the Celtics have their first lead of the night.
Got to give credit to the bench of the Celtics. Things were not going well. Found a way to come into the ball game and have an impact. Has outscored the bench of the Cavs 17-3.
And the defense here in the second quarter, the roar from the crowd. They are fired up. West. Zerbiak, good open three. In and out. Looked like he got hit after the release. Mike Brown talking to Derek Stafford about that. Posey off the mark, and Smith the rebound. Zerbiak. They need him to find the range. A loose ball foul is going to be going against Boston. And it's Garnett's second personal.
Outstanding defense once again. Active hands by Posey. What he does best. Off to the races and finishes in transition.
It's so important that you bring players of some unique skill off your bench. Posey's skill is energy and three-point shooting. I just love how Danny Ainge has built his bench here in Boston.
Garnett the rebound. Posey signed as a free agent. This is his 5th NBA team. As he mentioned, won the title with Miami. Cassell. Pass doesn't get to Garnett down low, but it'll reset. And a carry. Garnett with the turnover. For Boston, that's number 6. Again, they had 23 in game 1. Ilgauskas will return. He had that big start. Varejao stripped by Poe. Smith gets it back. Varejao, the jump shot.
You see the activity defensively down there. Multiple effort, trapping, getting back, trapping again. Just outstanding defensive basketball.
That's really why if you're Mike Brown, the coach of the Cavs, you have to get Ilgauskas back in the ballgame. Your team is 1 for 9 in this second quarter.
Ray Allen dribbled it off the foot of Smith. So it's still Celtic ball with 7 on the shot clock. Ilgauskas will report in, but not until we have the timeout. Cavs had a big early lead. Celtics have turned it around.
Dodge is protecting you from high gas prices.
Announcing the Dodge $2.99 gas guarantee.
Right now, when you buy or lease most Dodge vehicles, you'll pay just $2.99 a gallon for gas or diesel in each of the next 3 years for up to the first 12,000 miles per year. It's our $2.99 gas guarantee.
Dodge is coming through for you with relief at the pump just when you need it most. Hurry to your Dodge dealer today for the $2.99 gas guarantee. Let's refuel America.
When you're used to always doing something with a cigarette, it can be hard doing it without one. But if you can relearn how to drive without cigarettes, then you can relearn to do anything without cigarettes. Introducing X, a new way to think about quitting.
Who could that be? Oh, wow. I'm there for you, buddy. That was Brad. He really wants to vent.
You should go.
Ready to vent? Let's vent. Let's vent.
Let's vent. Introducing the vented wide mouth can from Coors Light. It lets in air for a smooth, refreshing pour.
Is he okay?
I think we'll be venting a little longer.
Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
I'm sorry, but you couldn't pay me to watch women's basketball. Nothing exciting ever happens. Look at the WNBA. The league has stayed the same for 10 years. There's no new blood. What kind of future does that league have? None that I can see. Expect great.
Mark Jones with his Taco Bell studio update. Yesterday, Kobe Bryant of the Lakers awarded his first MVP award with 82 first-place votes. Today, All-NBA team, the only unanimous member on the All-NBA's first team. And Mike, tell Jeff that I'm fitting John Barry for a scarlet letter F for all the flopping he's done. We like the idea.
There's no question, Mark, that John was superb at flopping throughout his career, so I think that's deserved.
He even flopped once pre-game because he didn't want to play against the Phoenix Suns. He fell out. I thought he was flopping because he didn't want to have to guard anybody that night, but he actually had a bad back.
Here's Wendy's quality matchup with the West. Obviously, New Orleans, as we said, so good in the first 2 games. Mark, what do you think San Antonio and their ability to come back?
They have to find a way to slow down the pace of the basketball game. They can't keep up with the Hornets, and also you got to get the ball out of the hands of Chris Paul. He is absolutely incredible.
That's the second game of our doubleheader. Allen just gets the shot off before time expired, unable to get it to go, and Allen 0 for 3.
I think you got a better chance with food poisoning against Chris Paul than getting the ball out of his hands. That guy is amazing. He's the best pick-and-roll player that I've seen in the last 5-10 years. That guy is tremendous. where he can hesitate.
What's incredible about that statement is we've witnessed Steve Nash the last couple of years, but he has taken it to another level.
Sam Cassell knocks it down. That's a two-pointer, and Cassell 3 for 3.
I like the fact that Doc Rivers is staying with Sam Cassell, playing quality minutes, and he is not going back to run.
James. Serbiak. Yeah, they needed that. Serbiak now from the field, 3 for 7.
That was a great baseline drive, baseline drift pass. Very few players can throw it across the court on the money like James just did.
Cassell's missed Garnett. Oh, what a pass! And Poe with the finish. Kevin Garnett with a beautiful assist. This chant has been going on all season long. They were the best defensive team during the regular season. As Zerbiak throws up an air ball, and it's going to be Cleveland ball.
From the vision of Kevin Garnett, you talk about his size. He's a legit 7-footer. Gets the basketball, second shot opportunity. I see you, Poe. Just stay there and be ready to look away. Poe explodes to the basket. Kevin Garnett with the vision.
For the Celtics, number 7 on the shot clock. Posey's going to sit down. Pierce's return. And what a difference here in the second period. Celtics defense stepped it up a few notches. Shot clock winding down. Good help. Get it out of the hands of James. Verjo, not a good shot attempt. Cassell. Pierce right back in, and an air ball. Always wonder about that. He just came into the game, hasn't touched the ball, to put up a 3 right away. That's not easy, is it?
I would look at my finger and say it hurt. My fault. Finger still hurting a little bit. Shot air ball.
That's like tennis players who always look at the racket on a bad shot. I didn't understand that.
LeBron James can't hit. James struggling shooting again. He's 3 for 11. Garnett calling for it, and a foul on the entry pass as Verjao and Garnett get a little physical.
Good recognition by Sam Cassell. The last time when he gave it to Pierce, Kevin Garnett was wide open in the middle of the floor. Turned him down this time, made sure he got the ball to the big guy running down the middle of the lane, sealing the defender.
Garnett so fired up being back in the playoffs. He'd missed the playoffs the last 3 years as Minnesota was really struggling. Of course, had that 1 year, 2004, when Garnett and Cassell and Wally Zerbiak, all part of that Timberwolves team that went to the Western Conference Finals. But he has missed the playoffs, and that was one of the reasons he came here to Boston. Emotion, such a big part of his game. Defensive Player of the Year, first Celtic to ever receive that award. And again, you guys have talked about this. What he's done for this team, you can't measure in his numbers.
No, you can't. When you talk about his energy, his passion, his enthusiasm, the guy is just an absolute winner and a joy to be around on a daily basis.
Well, you talk to some teammates, they say not always a joy. He's not afraid. He gets in teammates' faces if he feels they're not putting forward the effort.
If you're telling the truth, you don't mind it. That's what you want from the great players. Too many great players think you lead by example. No, sometimes you have to speak up.
Cassell swiped from behind by West. There's James. There's the runaway train. No way to stop that. As Pierce and Garnett get in front. If it's going to be Garnett, that will be his 3rd. I think they're going to call it on Pierce. Derek Stafford checking. With Joey Crawford, experienced crew here tonight. They're going to call it on the floor, not in the act of shooting.
And this should be in the act of shooting. He puts the ball, picks it up, ready to go to the basket, takes his 2 steps. That's in the act of shooting. No question about it. He should be going to the line right now.
So Pierce is called for the foul. That's his first. Only the 3rd team foul, so they'll take it out with 3:14 left.
Mike silent on a bad call, huh? How about that?
He should have been shooting. I agree. Stop making it like I never say there's a bad call. James inside, up and under, won't go. Verjo's tip misses. Cassell. Garnett. And Delonte West. West gets it out to James. Ball knocked away. Garnett diving on the floor. And then a turnover. Here comes Garnett. Here comes the roar. And a foul.
You talk about a superstar worth his paycheck. How about Kevin Garnett? Willing to get dirty, does all the little things. Ray Allen comes up with the loose basketball. Garnett finishes it, gets the contact from West emphatically. Celtics on a 16-3 run and ball.
Hey, Mark. It's the perfect combination of taste and refreshment. We've been expecting you. Where am I? Beer heaven.
Only one beer is good enough for beer heaven. Miller Lite, the ultimate light beer.
Circuit City's the place for simply great Mother's Day gifts. Save up to $100 on cameras and camcorders with picture-perfect style. Like this 7-megapixel Canon PowerShot with 3-inch LCD. Just $199.99 before $20 instant savings. Plus, get no interest for 18 months on all cameras and camcorders $249 and up with your Circuit City credit card. Like this 30-gig JVC hard drive camcorder. Only $449.99 before $50 instant savings. And right now, get a free $15 iTunes card with any iPod Nano. Simplicity guaranteed.
Now I create my own Capital One credit card. Set rewards to cash back.
Yes, master.
And a low interest rate. Oh, and I want that photo of me and Astrid. Yes, that's it. Now hit the switch! It's alive! No, it's not. Well, not literally. It's not.
Introducing Capital One Card Lab. Customize your card by choosing your rewards, interest rate, even upload your own image at CapitalOne.com.
What's in your wallet?
Nico, my cousin! Hey. Welcome to America! I came a long way to see you.
What motivates you?
I'm looking for someone.
I'm the one who survived.
Grand Theft Auto 4, out now. Rated M for mature.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs. Brought to you by Vitamin Water. It works for Shaq. And Dodge. Live life to the fullest. Dodge. Grab life.
Back in Boston, it's been an 18-point turnaround. Celtics down 12 in the first, now up 6. And it's the bench that got it done.
We're talking about guys coming into the ball game, having an impact. Sam Cassell, you know my work, LeBron James. You got to stop the basketball. You cannot allow Sam Cassell to step into a rhythm jump shot. Nobody stops the basketball, must pay the price. LeBron's busy scouting Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. Well, Sam Cassell says, I will get you if you don't defend me.
Sam Cassell started the year with the Clippers. They released him. And he signed back in March. Now with his 8th team. Talked about his career. He's always been a confident player. Really one of the most confident players you'll find in the NBA. And that started his first 2 years in Houston when he won a couple of championship rings with the Rockets.
What I love about him most, he's not afraid of the moment. Whether he's playing with Hakeem Olajuwon, it doesn't matter. He feels like he's more than capable of taking advantage of the moment.
And Doc Rivers talking before the game, and he doesn't know if he's met a player who loves playing as much as Cassell. I've said this before. If Cassell wasn't in the NBA, he'd be playing in the park every weekend. He'd be in 3 or 4 different rec leagues. He just loves to play basketball.
But see, that's one of the reasons as guys get older, that separates who can continue their career many times. You still have to love to play, love the life, versus some guys who get very, very worn down by all the politics as they see it in the NBA game.
And he's back with Garnett. Of course, they had success, as we mentioned, in that 2004 season. Minnesota. Latrell Sprewell was on that team as well. Oh, elbow. Offensive foul as Ilgauskas threw an elbow at Leon Poe. And that's 3 on Ilgauskas.
And Doc Rivers stays with Poe as opposed to bringing Perkins back into the ball game because of energy and effort, rewarding the guys that came off the bench and made a difference. Ilgauskas post move hits Poe with the elbow, offensive foul, and the Celtics another defensive stop.
So he'll sit with the 3 fouls. Wallace, of course, who left the game earlier from being dizzy, but told he'll be able to return. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining here in the first half, and it's been a tale of 2 quarters. Pierce puts it in. 9-point Celtic lead.
And they ran the play and went away from Paul Pierce. Doc Rivers jumped up and down, wanted the basketball to get back to Pierce. You can't play off of him because he can knock down the jumper.
James, hard drive, and he draws the foul. So free throws coming up for LeBron James.
And that was a mistake by Kevin Garnett. He left the double team of James too easily, which allowed James to turn the corner and get to the rim.
James gets to the line as often as anyone in the NBA. 1 of 2 so far here this afternoon. Coming up at halftime, Toyota halftime show. And back to the studio. Mark Jones, John Barry, and Stephen A. Smith. Spurs back home. That's the second game of our doubleheader. An update on Chauncey Billups, who hurt himself last night in Game 3. And the Knicks interested in D'Antoni. And a foul's going to be called on Joe Smith, a loose ball foul. And you never see that called. If players are on the floor, you can sit on a guy's head and you won't see it called. But that time Joe Smith grabbed, and free throws will come up for the Celtics.
That would be a good rule where the referees were instructed, if you dive for the ball and the ball's loose, anything goes. Go with the headlock. If you're prone on the floor, you're open.
I can see you coaching that also in practice.
That's a drill, right?
Oh, how good would that be?
Pierce having a good, solid first half. Another missed free throw. Let's take another look at it.
Don't tell me NBA players wait till the fourth quarter to play. On multiple occasions, both teams have hit the floor. You want to be a team that hits the floor first. Pierce beat Smith to the ball. Smith then had to react, grabbed him around the head, and fouled.
Another missed free throw. Celtics have a 9-point lead, and they're 6 of 14 from the line. It's the defense, though, here. What a performance defensively in the second quarter. And there's the foul. Celtics now on the penalty. Zerbiak inadvertently tripped up, and he'll go to the line. Now, you said something at the top of the show, Jeff, about the Celtics defense, and they are putting on a clinic here in the second quarter, that it's one of the best defenses you've seen over the past decade in this league.
I do. I think they have good length. They have good depth. And I think it's keyed by Kevin Garnett, but also their commitment to a scheme. And you need defense more than anything. It's 5 men pulling the rope in the same direction. And they have the most consistent defensive execution in the NBA.
And as we've said all season, Garnett deserves so much of the credit, but so does Tom Thibodeau, the assistant coach, who's put in the scheme. And it has certainly worked, and the players have bought into it.
Oh, his discipline and his accountability. When they make mistakes, as you just witnessed, Kevin Garnett, you're on the sideline talking about those mistakes to minimize.
Cassell. At that time. Oh, down hard goes Perkins. And the foul is going to go against the Cavaliers. I believe it's against Joe Smith. That's his second, and they're in the penalty.
And this record is getting old, but you have to love Leon Poe and what he does off the bench for Doc Rivers. He's a guy that you don't want to face night in and night out. He is outworking people that he is matched up against. That's just pure hustle from the weak side, crashing the offensive board, giving his team an extra possession and going to the line.
And Poe, as we've said, not only a fan favorite, but he's one of the amazing stories in the NBA. He was born in Oakland, and at age 7, his little brother actually burned down the family's house, and he and his family, all his brothers and sisters, had to live in homeless shelters for a while. His father had left the family when he was very, very young. His mom had all sorts of problems, and the kids were taken from her by the state. So Leon and his 5 siblings lived in foster care, and while they were in different homes scattered around the West Coast area, he made sure they all stayed in contact. He made sure they remained a family, and he always kept his studies up, so he had a chance to go to Cal. Obviously basketball helped, and was able to go to Cal, now in the NBA with all his money, has his family together, a number of them living together, but he was the man that kept them together, the man of the house at a very, very young age. James drives, foul, free throws. So now he's attacking the basket.
Really, for the first time in a long time, Paul Pierce falling asleep. LeBron doing a great job moving without the basketball. All eyes on him when he has it in his hands, but once he gives it up, you have to keep a body on him. Paul Pierce falls asleep, allows LeBron James to back cut, explodes to the hoop, going to the line.
And I agree. I don't think there should be any help off LeBron James. The man guarding him should just make sure he's attached to James at all times.
Still struggling shooting from the field is James, especially in the second quarter, the whole Cavs team.
Going somewhere?
What are you in for? Wi-Fi?
Break free from Wi-Fi with broadband access from Verizon Wireless. Click to connect and work in more spots than just hotspots on America's most reliable wireless broadband network. Now get a free broadband access modem. Monthly plan starting at $39.99. It's reliability to go. Verizon Wireless.
NBA playoffs on ABC continue this weekend. Saturday night, we'll be in Cleveland. Game 3 between the Celtics and Cavaliers. Coverage starts at 8 Eastern. And Sunday at 3:30, Game 4 between the Lakers and the Jazz. Coverage against 3:30 Eastern Sunday. GMC NBA Countdown. Sunday, of course, Mother's Day. What will those series be, though? We'll find out tonight as the Boston Celtics with a huge turnaround in the second quarter. And James hits the free throw. Sam Cassell getting a lot of minutes. Doc Rivers putting Cassell in for Rondo. Cassell blocked by West. It's 3 blocks. Poe right there on the follow. Poe making his presence felt. 9.6 rebounds in the first half.
Just off of energy and effort, wanting the basketball more than anybody else on the floor.
And a foul on the pass. Some more free throws. It's on Perkins.
I would call this Poe effort, but this is rich effort. Poe does a great job of battling in the paint area, coming up with the loose basketball, and once again, counting the basket.
He didn't just say that, did he?
The turn down the collar was bad.
Oh, man.
The rich effort versus Poe effort was worse. One question, Mike, was Leon Poe's house burned down by his brother on purpose?
No, accidentally.
Accidentally, okay.
It was all part of all sorts of difficulties his family had. Yet he remained the man for his family at a very young age. And he has, as we said, become a huge favorite here in Boston. Doc Rivers loves him. Getting quiet, doesn't say a heck of a lot.
And that's a great evaluation by Danny Ainge. A guy, instead of looking only at potential, looked at college performance. And Leon Poe was a very efficient player in a big-time league in the Pac-10.
Led the Pac-10 in scoring and rebounds his sophomore year. 6-point game, shot clock's turned off as we wind down the first half. Rondo back in. Eddie House seeing some rare minutes. Cassell to the basket and gets the layup at the buzzer. Cavs fell asleep defensively, and Sam Cassell with 9 points off the bench. 26 bench points. offsetting the numbers of LeBron James and the Cavaliers.
Well, you fall asleep because you think Sam Cassell is going to knock down the jump shot. Does a good job of turning down the open jumper, putting the ball on the floor, and getting to the cup.
And again, the bench was key, led by Sam Cassell and Leon Poe. And Cassell with Armichelle.
All right, thanks, Mike. You know, you guys trailed by 7 after the first quarter, Sam. What was the bench able to come in and do that wasn't being done early in this game?
I think we just played with the energy, that extra effort. That's why we got back in the game. You know, you bring a guy like James Posey, Leon Poe, and myself in the ball game. That's what we bring. I used to be a starter. I'm a reserve now. I understand how the mind frame of a starter is supposed to play. I'm just playing the game I know how to play, game I love, and just helping the team win games.
As a team, free throws can be huge in the playoffs. You guys are 7 of 16 from the line. When they aren't falling, what do you guys do?
We look like the Memphis Tigers. Sorry, John Calipari, you my man, but we look like y'all team tonight. But hopefully we can change that. We're a good free throw shooting ball club, so we got to change that aspect of it, make some free throws, and win the game.
Sam, thank you.
Thank you.
Mike?
All right, Michelle, he says I used to be a starter. I'm a reserve now. You know he wants to say, and I should still be a starter. The confident Sam Cassell. The Charter halftime show coming up with Mark Jones, John Barry, and Stephen A. Smith. Spurs back at home tonight, second game of our doubleheader. Chauncey Billups, the latest update on his injury, and more coaching news, which never ends day after day in the NBA in the offseason. Big second quarter for the Boston Celtics. They outscore Cleveland 27-12. Their defense picks it up as the Cavs shoot just 2 of 17 in the second quarter.
Dodge is protecting you from high gas prices.
Announcing the Dodge $2.99 gas guarantee.
Right now, when you buy or lease most Dodge vehicles, you'll pay just $2.99 a gallon for gas or diesel in each of the next 3 years for up to the first 12,000 miles per year. It's our $2.99 gas guarantee.
Dodge is coming through for you with relief at the pump just when you need it most. Hurry to your Dodge dealer today for the $2.99 gas guarantee. Let's refuel America.
Your mama's so ugly she threw a boomerang and it never came back.
Your mama's so ugly the plastic surgeon sued her.
Your mama's so ugly they renamed Halloween Yo Mama Ween.
Your mama's so ugly she made a mime scream.
Ni mama hao shou yang chong ya ke lei.
Energy, focus, control. Amp Energy. Amp yourself.
Old Spice is the bear.
Welcome to the Toyota Halftime Show.
Sam Cassell of the Boston Celtics looking for his 3rd NBA championship. Known as one of the most talkative players in the NBA, talks to his teammates, the other team officials, fans right now. His game doing some big talking right now. Boston with the lead at the half. I'm Mark Jones along with Stephen A. Smith and the serial flopper, Jeff Van Gundy, wearing the Scarlet F. It's a homemade deal, John. It's the best we could do, but what do you say to his charges? You flop before the tip?
I exceeded my flopping limit. No thanks to Jeff Van Gundy, but all the whining he did to officials to kill me. Thanks a lot,
Jeff. Hey, listen, don't knock Jeff Van Gundy. He's absolutely hysterical. I'm telling you right now, Jeff Van Gundy is funny. I can't believe I'm saying that, but he's hilarious.
It was a pretty good idea
yes,
with this Scarlet Letter. Meanwhile, anything but a flop, the Celtic bench in the first half.
Well, Ray Allen flopping again, still looking for his first field goal of the series, but the bench came up huge. Sam Cassell, Posey, Poe, P.J. Brown, they came in and changed this game. Down 12 points. Sam Cassell came in with great energy, takes a guy down in the box where he does his best work. James Posey, normally a spot-up three-point shooter, knocks down a tough one here. And Leon Poe doing the dirty work. Tough move inside, finishes the play. And P.J. Brown, the old fella, getting up. Still showing he's got the hops. The bench, huge. 27-12 in the second quarter. The bench is the difference.
Well, let me handle Cleveland for a second because I don't know whether it's Coach Mike Brown or LeBron James, whomever. But this offense is flat out pathetic. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, you take away the 6-for-7 shooting performance from Zydrunas Ilgauskas. The Cleveland Cavaliers are 7-for-31 from the field. LeBron James is 3-of-13. Nobody else can buy a basket. And John and I were watching the game together, and guess what, fellas? They had an abundance of wide-open shots. As great as we want to talk about Boston's defense being, there were a whole bunch of perimeter shots, wide-open shots by LeBron, by Wally Szczerbiak, by everybody. They were just shooting bricks. They looked like a bunch of construction workers, for crying out loud. It was really, really bad for a playoff game. The Cleveland Cavaliers just looked totally anemic offensively.
Cavaliers down by 8 points. They were supposed to be much improved offensively. LeBron James, 2 of 18 in game 1. Right now, just 3 of 13 from the field. Okay, the second half of our doubleheader tonight here on ESPN. The focus of the Sports Nation for the NBA fan is in San Antonio tonight, where the Spurs try to get on the board against Chris Paul and the New Orleans Hornets, right now trailing 2-0 in that best-of-7 series. The Spurs have never come back from such a deficit. The guys calling the game tonight. Let's go to Dan Shulman in Dorisburg.
The scenic Riverwalk in downtown San Antonio, and the defending NBA champion Spurs are hopeful that being back at home will turn their fortunes around in this series against the young, hungry New Orleans Hornets, who lead the Spurs 2-0 Game 3 tonight here at the AT&T Center in San Antonio. Can Tony Parker and the Spurs get in the win column tonight? Parker's thoughts on Game 3.
We're pretty confident. We understand that we're down 0-2, and it's going to be very hard to come back. But at the same time, you know, if you're not positive, nothing can happen. So we're just going to take it one game at a time and focus to get those next 2, you know, at home, and then we'll see what happens.
Well, Doris, there will be some changes here tonight as Manu Ginobili goes into the starting lineup for Michael Finley, and that puts Tony Parker on Chris Paul.
Well, with 4 championships in 9 years, this is an organization built on toughness and strength, and they're not about to lay down. For Manu Ginobili, it's about being aggressive while being smart with the basketball. Too many turnovers in the first couple of games. For Tony Parker, he draws the guard of a guy Greg Popovich says may be the best decision maker in all of basketball right now. They've got their hands full.
The other problem for the Spurs, they have not been making open shots. Can Duncan and the Spurs get a win against Chris Paul and the Hornets here in San Antonio tonight?
They're shooting just 41% from the field in that series. Thanks a lot, Dan and Doris. And here's a look at our Sports Nation poll. Do you think the series will return to New Orleans tied at 2 apiece? What do you guys think?
Wow. 64 no?
Not much faith in the defending champs.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not counting the Spurs out till they lose that number 4. I think it's going back 2-2.
So do I, but I will say this. The fact that we even have to ask that question shows how much trouble the Spurs are in.
And a big change in the starting lineup tonight. Manu Ginobili getting the start, as you heard a few moments ago, from Michael Finley.
That's a panic move. That's a panic move right there.
Spurs are squirming.
Getting away from the plan just a little bit. Remember, log on to ESPN.com, search Sports Nation fans, let your voices be heard, vote on that poll. Second half of our game coming up, but still a lot more to tell you about on the Toyota Halftime Show with Chauncey Billups. Mr. Big Shot is Mr. Sore Hamstring right now. Ouch! That looked like it hurt. We'll tell you more about his condition on the other side.
The Toyota Halftime Show is brought to you by Toyota. Moving forward. Let's go to the river.
Dad, turn here. How about the park? I think we should hit downtown.
The all-new full-size Toyota Sequoia seats up to 8 with its easy access third-row seating. It also comes with a spacious cargo area, exceptional towing capability, and Toyota's legendary reliability. The all-new full-size Toyota Sequoia. Do whatever, whenever, wherever.
Mom, look at that view.
Rated E for everyone.
Check. Game on.
That's my move. Give me that ball.
NBA Ball is Chosen One. Available now.
Right now is the best time to join Sirius. Our 69 music channels have never been better, with limited engagements like Bruce Springsteen's E Street Radio. And they're all 100% commercial-free. NASCAR's in full swing, and our 24/7 coverage means you won't miss out. Plus the NBA. Get the NFL all year long, including training camp coverage of every team. Don't miss the best in talk, and you won't want to miss Howard Stern this summer. You've always wanted it. Now's the best time to join over 17 million listeners. Sirius Satellite Radio, the best radio on radio.
Good cholesterol versus bad, Woody Page.
It all rides on the lipoproteins. The higher the HDL, the lower the risk of heart disease.
I mean, this is a guy who shed 30 pounds in 2 months. He tackled his sleep apnea, too.
High blood pressure's weak. 150 over 95, bench the salt.
The pass down low, now that's a clean colon.
If only you followed your health the way you follow sports. For a complete list of the tests you need and when you need them, go to ahrq.gov/realmen.
I got good news. Putting you in my fave 5.
This is real?
Yep. You in, baby.
Call me anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah, I watched the game from last night. Yes, sir.
You got to pass the ball more.
Now, I'm really in the middle of something.
I don't want to look too fat in high definition. You ever been to Amsterdam? And that's why I don't eat shrimp. I want to come visit because I am really bored.
What is it, Chuck? What, Chuck? Hey, Chuck.
Call me back. We got a lot to talk about.
Who's in your Fave 5? My fave's from T-Mobile. Unlimited calls to your 5 favorite people.
There's so many emotions at the end of the season, and nobody likes to talk about it, but one of them is fear. Fear that you come this far, and it could all end. The dream could die. But me, I like the fear. It means I'm close. It means I'm ready.
Welcome back to the Toyota Halftime Show.
News and notes to pass your way. Former Patriots employee Matt Walsh sent a little bit of tape, 8 of them, to the NFL about the videotaping scandal by the Patriots. Zab Judah's fight with Shane Mosley canceled because of an injury to Judah, and Gilbert Arenas says he won't be back unless Antoine Jameson comes back.
Ernie Grunfeld spoke to the president of basketball operations for the Wizards today. He said he has every intention of re-signing Antoine and Gilbert.
Got to keep that core intact. Here's a look, meanwhile, at the NBA's all-first team. Kobe Bryant leading the way, the only unanimous choice.
I got no problem with this list.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
Interesting that AI or Carmelo did not make either of the 3 teams. Elsewhere, Chauncey Billups says he's not sure he's going to be ready to go in Saturday's Game 4 for Detroit against Orlando. John, what does that do?
Yeah, you were saying ouch. I'm wondering, you okay?
Yeah, that hurt a lot. It hurt me to watch it.
They're in trouble if they don't have Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey Billups, the head of that snake in Detroit. And meanwhile, Mike D'Antoni, still the head coach of the Phoenix Suns, but he's been interviewed by the Knicks as well as the Bulls. Stephen A., what's the latest in this situation?
Some people in NBA circles believe he's using the Knicks and the Bulls basically to amp up the leverage that he can get in order to reacquire the power that he once had from the Phoenix Suns. But both himself and Steve Kerr are not on the same page. Steve Kerr wants a more defensive-oriented team. Obviously, because of that, D'Antoni may leave for Chicago. But New York, a lot of reports about them trying to make a big-time offer. But the belief around NBA circles is that that's all posturing, that Mark Jackson, the very man broadcasting this game, is the guy that Donnie Walsh ultimately wants for the New York Knicks job. And by the way, Tom Thibodeau, the assistant coach for the Boston Celtics, a lot of people have thrown his name out there because he's a defensive specialist. He has not even been, the Boston Celtics have not even been contacted for permission to talk to Tom Thibodeau by anybody. That doesn't make any sense, but that is the truth.
Donnie Walsh trying to put the right guy in the head man's chair, the coaching chair in New York. Well, that's the end of our Toyota Halftime Show. Coming up, the second half of our game, Kevin Garnett and the Celtics turning the beat around, flipping the script in the second quarter to lead 44-36. Third quarter coming up.
The Toyota Halftime Show is brought to you by Toyota. Moving forward.
Let's go to the river.
Dad, turn here. How about the park? I think we should hit downtown.
The all-new full-size Toyota Sequoia seats up to 8 with its easy access third-row seating. It also comes with a spacious cargo area, exceptional towing capability, and Toyota's legendary reliability. The all-new full-size Toyota Sequoia. Do whatever, whenever, wherever.
Mom, look at that view.
Coors Light.
It's a frost-brewed beer. It's a beer brewed down as cold as 34 degrees. Aged cold, filtered cold, put into bottles, cans, and kegs. Cold. Why? We know you like cold beer. So ask for a beer with a taste as cold as the Rockies. Because refreshment isn't everything. It's the only thing. Frost-brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
What if your cell phone calls, your television, your GPS system, even your bank transactions could be taken out with a single missile? They can. As more countries develop power in outer space, Air Force Space Command is protecting America's interests high above the ground. It takes Air Force vision to defend America in a changing world. U.S. Air Force, above all. Join us at airforce.com.
It's Tour de French Toast at IHOP. 4 phenomenal French toasts, topped, swirled, and stuffed with goodness and served with all your favorites. IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy. Call IHOP and get it to go with IHOP and Go.
The NASCAR Nationwide Series at Darlington, Friday at 7 on ESPN2.
From Game Lounge Central, I'm Pat Sajak, here to tell you that Pat Sajak games can now be played right on your TV set with your remote control. It's as simple as going to channel 110 and presto, over 60 games at your fingertips, as well as fun-filled games from your favorite brands, all for only $5.95 a month. That's right, $5.95 a month gets you an all-access pass for the entire family. And if you act now, I'll rotate your tires. DirecTV's Game Lounge. Tune to channel 110 to play now. Just kidding about the tires.
Moving day is here, the most dreaded of days. Packing, unpacking, your mind in a haze. DirecTV knows how stressful moving can be, so we make keeping your entertainment both easy and free. For uninterrupted service of the shows you like best, just leave the dish behind and we'll handle the rest. Simply dial 877-616-MOVE and we'll throw in 3 months of Stars and Showtime for free.
Now it's time for the McDonald's I'm Lovin' It highlights.
Are you jumping up? Is your
Those were the McDonald's I'm Lovin' It highlights.
Halftime here in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Celtics took game 1. And here in game 2, they've got an 8-point advantage at intermission as we get set for the third quarter. It's 44-36. Our first half stats presented by Capital One. A tale of 2 quarters. Cavs up by 12 in the first period. Celtics came back led by a superb job from their bench. LeBron James scoring more but not shooting much better as the Cavs really struggling from the field. We mentioned in game 1 the Celtics defense putting on a clinic the way they defended the Cavaliers. Boy, that second quarter maybe even better.
Well, that's clinic number 2 if game 1 was clinic number 1, because their defense in the second quarter was suffocating, and it was the definition of team defense. You want to know what help and recover is? This is help defense by Poe. Garnett helps the helper. Poe recovers back. Posey slides down to Garnett's man. Now they're going to do it again. This is about multiple effort. Now they go to a handoff. Garnett's there again. Sam Cassell's going to read the play instead of rotating to Varejao. Stunts at him and leaves Varejao with the shot over Garnett's contest. That's team defense right there.
Mark, the NBA's leading scorer is 5 for 33 from the field in this series.
Make him a jump shooter. Make him beat you from the perimeter, daring him. Also, we talked about it, no layups. Defensively, force him to go to the foul line, and then fight over the screen and roll of your ball pass, goes underneath, gets help because of LeBron's strength and ability to get to the cup. Help comes, and it comes quick. Forcing the issue, LeBron James, once again, a long night 3 made shots, 10 missed shots, all from the perimeter, executing the game plan to a T.
5 for 31 in the series so far as he continues to struggle, as we check in with Michelle.
All right, Michael, I spoke with Mike Brown at halftime, and he confirmed for me that Ben Wallace is done tonight. He will not return. Came back out onto the court just before the second half started, and then went right back to the locker room still feeling dizzy. What Mike Brown did say is, I know we didn't do as good a job as the Celtics did defending. We have to take better care of the ball and don't give them easy buckets in transition. But it's not just Ben's absence, it's the entire team that needs to step up. Mike?
So with Ben Wallace out, Anderson Berger out, will start the second half. Berger, one of their big energy, better defenders. Same starting 5 for the Celtics. Again, the bench was just superb. Ray Allen still without a point in the series. And he played 21 minutes in the first half. Comes up with a nice steal. There it is. It's not to let him affect his aggressiveness or his play at the other end.
Well, good timing by Ray Allen, because prior to that lay-in, I was getting ready to let him have it for struggling from the field. But good job of staying active defensively, coming up with a loose basketball, and then finally getting an easy basket.
West, nice little fake. And Delonte West can't finish. Perkins the rebound. Perkins had 12 rebounds in game 1. And Allen aggressively goes to the basket, and now he'll go to the line.
Well, that's the mindset. I said to Ray Allen before the ball game, is there any side of you that's looking on the floor and saying, hey, this is Wally Szczerbiak defending me? This is not a lockdown defender. You can't let him off the hook by just roaming around the perimeter looking to make plays. Put the ball on the floor and attack the basket. Does that, and now going to the line because of his aggressiveness.
So you're taking credit for Ray Allen in the first 3 halves of this series, or in the first 2 possessions?
I'm just doing my homework.
No, you're trying to take the credit for Ray Allen now. That's ridiculous.
I'm trying to get into his mind, his mindset of what are you thinking when you're struggling, when you're going through games like you've gone through. What is the mindset? And he says, hey, you are right. I have to step it up, and that has crossed my mind. But this is a different team. We play from the inside out.
Are you hoping he credits you in the post-game press conference?
I don't want any credit. I'm a man doing a job.
Rondo to Garnett. Garnett wide open, knocks it down. And it's up to 14, largest lead of the game for the Celtics. Exactly what the Cavaliers didn't want as Boston begins the third with a 6-0 run.
We start with a fresh grade A egg. We break it, then we fix it, so you can start your day sunny side up. That's what we're made of. No preservatives, no fillers, no no-nos. The only thing in our beef is beef. Sink your teeth into that. That's what we're made of.
Revolutions per minute. The first ever production V8 BMW M3.
Palm Central from Sprint. You get a touchscreen phone that manages your schedule, accesses email and text messaging, surfs the web fast, takes pictures, has an MP3 player, and more. On the smallest smartphone ever from Palm, so you can organize your life on the go for only $99.99. The Palm Central from Sprint, only on the Now Network.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, otherwise distributed, or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
Celtics, their largest lead of the game, got a little pep talk from their head coach at halftime.
After that first 6 minutes, the ball was hopping, you were playing together. That's how you play against this team. And we got to start this third quarter with great energy. We can't ease into this quarter. I mean, great energy right here. Let's go.
Mission accomplished.
Sure was. Allen starts out, misses another shot, but sometimes all it takes is to get one easy basket, scramble, loose ball, and a layup, and then in semi-transition, Rondo does a good job hitting the trailer, Kevin Garnett, for the easy jumper. And if I'm Mike Brown, and I'm talking about spacing, I've got to somehow get another shooter on the floor. I'd play LeBron James as my four-man with Gibson, West, and Serbiak, and one big man, so I can get more shooting and space on the floor for James.
Cavs shooting percentage is down to 33%. James puts his head down, knocked away. Rondo pass too far ahead. Oh, he saves it. And they'll set it up. Terrific hustle from Rondo. Pierce just flips it up and in. 8 straight points to start the period.
When we talked about the start of the ball game, it was the Cleveland Cavaliers, the team with much more energy. Right now is the Celtics.
James misses. Pierce for 3. Garnett, the offensive board. Pierce back inside, banks it in. The Celtics have burst out of the gate.
Well, once again, second shot opportunity. You will pay the price. Garnett finds Pierce. Rather than a jumper, attacks the basket.
Boston plus 11 in rebounding. Rondo almost stole it. Shot clock winding down. Ilgauskas, he's keeping them semi-close. 7 of 8 from the field, 14 points. Again, if you're just tuning in, Cavaliers came out playing some great basketball. Went up by 12 in the first period. Shot 52% in the opening quarter. Since then, the Celtic defense putting on a clinic. Allen nails the jumper. Here's Serbiak. Dangerous pass. West able to hold on. Kicks it out. Open 3. And LeBron James still has not hit a shot out of the paint in this series so far. Man, it's a great look right there. But nothing is falling for him.
If they want to win this series, he's going to have to be efficient, and he's going to have to do it going to the rim, getting to the free throw line, and also making his share of jump shots, even though that isn't his greatest strength.
Garnett, Perkins. Perkins backs up. And it's going to be an offensive foul on Perkins. Pushed off when James came in to defend. 3 on Perkins.
I think if you're LeBron James, you think about Michael Jordan. Wasn't a great jump shooter when he entered the league. You have to understand, teams are going to say, you are too good, too strong, and too great of a finisher. You have to beat us from a perimeter. He is going to have to find a way to soften up the defense. The Spurs played him this way in the finals, and right now, the Celtics are playing him the same exact way.
Ilgauskas taking his time, and a travel. Drag the pivot foot. He doesn't agree with the call. 9th turnover for Cleveland.
So you look at it, this is how the Denver Nuggets played Kobe Bryant in game 1. They dared him to be a jump shooter. He is a jump shooter. Softened up that defense by knocking down the J, and then he was able to do whatever he wanted against him. That's what LeBron needs to do now.
Serbiak in pursuit of Allen. Allen on the drive, shuffle pass to Pierce. Pierce trying to draw the foul. Good no call there. Rondo blocked by Ilgauskas. Rondo hasn't scored, but he has 5 assists. Serbiak to the basket. Oh, another blocked. Throws it right back. And a foul before the shot attempt. And the Celtic defense has been brilliant.
Oh, this is a clinic on how to defend the ball, how to come quick with help. Great job. You talk about 4 guys in white jerseys. Pierce comes from the opposite side. Zerbiak able to avoid, and then Pierce says, not on my watch. Great help defense from the weak side.
He got fouled there.
Listen to you, man.
Perkins down low and a foul.
And Ray Allen's doing a great job making plays off his catch and shoot plays, coming off baseline screens when they're committing the second defender to him, touching the ball to the open man. Very good job by Allen, opening up shots for his teammates.
Well, it's again the same thing. You know, Doc Rivers talked about this, about even though his shot's not falling, he still is doing the other things, not letting him affect the rest of his game. He's never been known as a great defender, but his defense has improved. Fires up the 3. Not that time. Bergeau the rebound. Everybody's defense has improved under Kevin Garnett's leadership out there on the floor. And a foul on the entry pass. 4 on Perkins. Again, the Cavs started red hot. They were 7 of 10 from the field to start. And since then, it has been a disaster because of the Celtic defense.
And Doc Rivers said, when we had him wide, he said to his team, hey, they're not going to score against us in a half-court set. We can't give them easy basket opportunities. And how true is that? You don't allow them to get it going in transition. They struggle in the half-court set.
Think about it. Other than James, who's going to beat you off the dribble and make plays? No one. And then they're playing big with Bergeau at the 4, so Garnett can roam in help. He can trap at half court. He can play the pick and roll more aggressively. They've got to get some range shooting at the 4 right now.
Allen gets inside, finding Leon Poe. Oh, interesting shot. Garnett tries to keep it alive, but Ilgauskas tracks it down. Whistle, count it, and a foul. Continuation on a nice move from Delonte West. Rondo picks up his second.
Sometimes when you get a big lead, you take possessions off, and the Celtics took that possession off in transition, allowing a gap by Delonte West. And you have to guard against playing the score. You got to play the game as a team, no matter what the score is.
His free throw, Pierce the rebound, off to the races. 3-on-2 for Boston. Good transition defense from the Cavs. Garnett. Poe fighting. And Rondo keeps it alive because of Leon Poe's hustle. We are seeing the type of game. It's the reason the Celtics won 66 during the regular season. We're at the midway point of the 3rd. Pierce puts it up. West ahead to Zerbiak. And Zerbiak gets it to go. And Doc Rivers doesn't like what he sees. Calls timeout as the lead's cut to 14. So the crowd taking a little breather. They've been up by as many as 18 as we're just past the midway point of the 3rd quarter.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by McDonald's and BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Reshaped. The all-new BMW X6.
Become the perfect weapon. Become Jason Bourne. The Bourne Conspiracy. Download the demo today. T for Teen.
I'm here with Mike Grunsky, MVP of the Kopinski appendectomy. That was quite an effort today, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mary. Got to give credit to the team, though. You know, they really stepped up, helped me watch the Colorado-Arizona game cast, and kept John out of shock.
Was the crowd a factor?
No, but John screaming was a surprise. Lost a lot of respect for him today.
Understood. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Be an ESPN MVP. Manage your ESPN fantasy teams. Get video alerts, exclusive commentary, and more with VCast. Only from Verizon Wireless.
Proactive Solution has good news if you have a difficult pimple or sudden breakout and can't find relief. Because when you order now, you'll get the exclusive refining mask free with your 3-piece kit. Just a dab, and the mask is designed to zap problems. It's fast. It's dramatic.
I put it on in the evening before I go to bed, and when I wake up in the morning, you don't have acne. That's a good feeling.
It works the fastest. It's potent. It's like my little skincare army.
Call now and order the amazing Proactive Solution to heal your acne and help prevent future breakouts. You'll save 50% on Proactive when you order in the next 4 minutes, just $19.95.
For on-the-spot pimple control, I use the refining mask. Just a little dab, that's all you need.
It's a Proactive Best product, and it's part of Proactive's Best offer. Don't just dream of clear, beautiful skin. Make it real. Order Proactive now and get a free upgrade to priority shipping. Call 1-800-761-8519.
Coming up next, right after this game, it's David West and the New Orleans Hornets against the San Antonio Spurs. David West had 30 points in Game 1, 10 points in Game 2. Mike Breen, he's been a matchup nightmare for San Antonio.
Coming out party for David West, Chris Paul and the Hornets. Meanwhile, here in Boston, Mark, 14-point lead. And today, the All-NBA team was announced, the first 3 teams. And here's the first team, Kevin Garnett and LeBron James, the forwards. Garnett, the first Celtic to make All-NBA first team since Larry Bird back in '88.
I feel real good because that is my first team selection also.
Nobody cares. That's not true. A lot of people care. Any discrepancies there, Jeff?
I didn't get a vote by the NBA. But I like that first team. I think you could make the case that Stoudemire deserved to be on the first team, but certainly no qualms with any of the guys who got selected.
Did I sense a little salt in your game? You're upset that you didn't get a vote?
Well, you know, the NBA has a love-hate relationship with me. I love them and they hate me, so I just want to have my, you know, like Michigan and Florida, they want their votes counted. I want my votes counted.
Nobody hates you. They all like you. Sometimes they're concerned about things you say, but other than that, they like you.
But so are we.
Yeah, that's true. Garnett misses, and Ilgauskas gets hit and falls down. Pierce in the vicinity, and it should be called for the personal. Right now, let's send it over to Michelle.
Well, during that last timeout, Doc Rivers was adamant with his team. We got to get back on defense. He said, remember, the first rule that we talked about coming into this game, no easy baskets, no easy baskets. Get back on D and stay solid. Mike?
Yeah, it's certainly been solid, to say the least.
That's why I like that timeout by Doc Rivers. You don't want any slippage in your game. Gave up 2 easy baskets in transition. Get a timeout and talk about it.
James knocks it down. Now, despite the fact that the Celtics have totally outplayed them, it's a 12-point game with 5 to go in the third.
Exactly, and that's why Doc Rivers was so upset. Players sometimes do not understand you cannot play the score. You got to play the game. So 2 bad trips in transition and an 18-point lead cut to 14, and then James makes a shot.
And Ray Allen makes a shot, bumped from behind by Zerbiak, and a chance for a 3-point play.
What he's doing so much better is moving without the basketball, catching it. Wally Zerbiak has the run to try to recover, gets him on his back, needs a token for the ride, knocks down the basket, going to the line.
Ray Allen too good a scorer to keep going the way he was going. He had missed his first 4 shots of the night here in Game 2. Had been 0 for 8 scoreless through the first 6 quarters of this series.
But then Mark gave him that pep talk, and look how that's turned around for Ray Allen.
He's going to write your name on a sneaker for Game 3.
Would you guys leave that alone, man, before people begin to believe you?
Chance of defense certainly appropriate tonight. Shot clock down to 6. Ilgauskas way off the mark.
Bergeron, the rebound, shot clock winding down, just gets it off in time. And I don't think he touched it on that second effort to tip it. I think it went in on its own.
That's good hustle by Bergeron underneath, really outworking every Celtic defender.
Hold on Serbiak. And the Cavs in the penalty, and Allen will go to the line. Reminder, visit NBA.com. You can jump right into the 2008 playoffs. Now at NBAstore.com. You can find the best selection of team jerseys, hats, t-shirts, and more. NBAstore.com. Every team, one store. Plenty of Celtics jerseys and shirts here throughout the TD Bank North Garden.
I think you should ask the question that you asked me.
Here's the question I pose, Mike. Let's say, like Garnett's jersey, do you think that sells for the same price as a Rondo jersey or a Scalabrine jersey? Are they all the same, or does Garnett get like a higher price, Rondo in the middle, Scalabrine, discounted?
That's a great question. My guess is that probably the Garnett one's a little more expensive.
I can't believe you just discounted Scalabrine's jersey, man.
Well, I don't mean it as an attack on Brian. I'm just saying, do you have to pay more for getting more?
I think if you buy a Garnett jersey, you should just throw in a Scalabrine.
Scalabrine not wearing the jersey tonight. He's on the inactive list.
And he thought I was being a little too negative in my broadcast, so now he's going to be really upset with me.
You have a love-hate relationship with him now.
That's why I went at him. I don't appreciate him talking about my partner.
Gibson, bad pass. Threw it off the legs of Joe Smith, and that's the 10th.
Well, both of those are valuable, I'll tell you that. Bill Walton, the best passing center of all time.
And boy, we keep saying it every time we show him. Bill, we miss you. He's been battling some severe back problems. Hopefully he'll be back to work soon before the playoffs are done. But get well soon, good buddy. Poe on the finish.
What are you, the skipper? Get well, little buddy?
I said good buddy, not little buddy. He's not little.
He's not Gilligan.
You're revealing your childhood TV habits. Bergeron took an extra step and they call the travel.
Well, you got to love the aggressiveness of Ray Allen coming out to start this half. Coming off screens that time, pick and roll, finds Poe ducking in off the double team. Good job of finding him, and if you're Poe, a big man, finish at the rim before the contest.
Allen scoreless in the first half, 11 points here in the third quarter. He also has 3 assists. So Poe part of that great Boston bench here tonight. Poe has 11 of those 28. Shot clock winding down. Rondo for 3. And he got hit by Bergeron on a 3-point attempt. Mike Brown telling Bergeron, don't argue.
And here's what I love. Gets fouled, and 2 guys that are stars in Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett runs over to Rondo to help him up. That's teamwork, and that's sending a message that you are one of our guys.
I couldn't agree more. I hate when I see teams leaving their teammates down on the ground to get up by themselves on dead ball. That is beautiful, and that's been going on all year. See, these little things that build a team spirit and team camaraderie never happen here in the playoffs. They're built all year long from training camp on.
Just outstanding teamwork. A guy gets fouled on the jump shot. No, relax. You sit there. You talk about Pierce and Garnett. Runs over, gives the young fella a hand up. They don't just expect it when they're on the ground, but do it equally across the board.
Last time the Celtics won an NBA championship, Rajon Rondo was 6 months old. Now he has a chance to be the starting point guard for perhaps the 17th championship team. Now they've got a long ways to go before they think of title. But Rondo has come a long way from the beginning of this year to now. He has really improved as it leads up to 20.
He has, but he has to shoot the initial open jump shot in the last possession. He got bailed out by a foolish foul by Bergeron. They're going to help off him. He's got to be ready to knock it down.
Garnett trying to pester Pavlovich. Pavlovich to the basket, blocked by Garnett. Posey was out of bounds, though, and he tried to save it. Garnett a little shaken up on the play, but he's got a smile on his face. Now it's Rondo's turn to help out the star player.
Defensive player of the year, gets beat but doesn't give up. Blocks the shot with the left hand. Felt like there was a contact by Pavlovic. No call, but solid defense. And Rondo and Ray Allen now says, hey, you helped me up. Allow us to help you up.
Rondo was late, though.
Better late than never. I think I made that up.
West and James, LeBron James, having another difficult night. 4 of 17 from the field. As Poe is called for a defensive 3 seconds. Here's Garnett doing his usual, making sure they don't score even after the whistle. And there's Rondo in his second year. And look at the numbers in terms of assist to turnovers in that first round. And another good game that way in game 1 of this round. As James even misses a free throw.
And he's not the best free throw shooter on technicals, but I agree with Mike Brown trying to get him to the line and get him feeling better. And right now, I like this lineup they have on the floor. LeBron James at the 4 with Joe Smith. You can now pick and roll and keep the floor more spread for James.
The 20-point lead, largest of the game for Boston. And this is a game they trail by 12 in the first quarter. James surrounded by Celtic defenders. Pavlovic nails a 3.
And the reason why this lineup doesn't hurt you defensively is because you talk about the size of LeBron James, able to play bigger guys.
Rondo, and they're going to call a blocking foul on Pavlovic.
And the Boston fans yelling overrated may be a bit premature at LeBron James. I have never understood what Washington was doing in the first round, challenging LeBron James with chance of that. And I think the Celtics fans don't speak for the Celtic team.
No, sir. As Rondo will go to the line. Now, last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, LeBron James had 10 points in game 1 against the Pistons. Then had 19, didn't play all that well in game 2. They lose the first 2 games of that series to Detroit. 4 straight, including that game 5 where he put on one of the all-time classic shows with the 48 points in game 5 in Detroit when he scored just time and time again down the stretch, the last 25 points for his team.
Well, you look at what he's done in his brief career, they should be chanting underrated. This guy is spectacular and will be one of the all-time greats.
Garnett called for the reach-in. That's his 3rd. And again, this was last year. He was magnificent as they advanced to the NBA Finals. Again, won 4 straight after trailing 0-2 in that series. That one was an instant classic.
You know what's upsetting to me? I was actually in the car listening to Mike Tirico and UB Brown because I was not near a TV. Absolutely amazed. I stayed in park and wouldn't leave out of the car. Couldn't believe the performance this guy was putting on, and I was just listening to it.
You mean you can't drive and listen to the radio at the same time? That's like you can't multitask at all?
I had arrived at my destination.
Okay.
Where there was no TV.
At the McDonald's drive-thru.
I'm getting worried about this guy.
Wow. Coming up with a minute remaining here in the 3rd. And Smith a little over aggressive. More free throws coming up for Boston. And Smith picks up his 3rd. That game that we talked about, the LeBron game, that was on TNT last year. Meanwhile, Sunday on TNT, New Orleans and San Antonio, game 4, 8 Eastern start. And then Monday on TNT, Boston at Cleveland, game 4 at 8 o'clock Eastern start. As this is the first game of a doubleheader. Mike Brown's former team, he was an assistant under Greg Popovich. The Spurs trying to get in the win column at home. Game 3 against New Orleans coming up after this one. (70-51) with just over a minute remaining in the 3rd. James kicks it out to Gibson and deflected. It seems every pass there's somebody contesting it. It's almost like there's sometimes you think there are 6 Celtics out on the floor.
The reason why is in the teaching defensively, and this is a Coach Van Gundy thing also. You want high hands, making the pass tough. Therefore, giving the help an opportunity to close out the shooters.
James on a drive. Can't finish. And he'll go the other way.
And James right there does not need to double clutch. Leon Poe is not a shot blocker. Go up and through his body to finish with strength. But I do like this lineup because the floor is spread more, so James, when he attacks, has less help.
Rondo, the runner, in and out. Poe again keeps it alive, and Rondo, who's such a good rebounder for a guy his size, tries it again to the basket. Wild shot. And West comes the other way.
I like the recognition by Rondo, trying to go for a 2-for-1 possession, trying to get a quick shot up, giving his team another opportunity at a possession.
There's about a 3.5-second difference between shot clock and game clock. James again takes it to the basket and can't get it to fall. Unbelievable how they just won't drop to LeBron James. Final seconds, third quarter. Pierce spinning. Pierce out to Posey. Three-pointer. And that will end the third period. LeBron James 4 for 19 from the field. The Celtic defense magnificent once again. But of course, the most important number for Boston, 70-51. A dominant performance as they try and take a 2-0 lead here in these Eastern Conference semifinals. Fourth quarter coming up next.
.400 revolutions per minute. The first ever production V8 BMW M3.
Your mama's so ugly she threw a boomerang and it never came back.
Your mama's so ugly the plastic surgeon sued her.
Your mama's so ugly they renamed Halloween Yo Mama Ween.
Your mama's so ugly she made a mime scream.
Ni mama hao shou yang chong ya ke lei.
Energy, focus, control. Amp Energy. Amp yourself.
When you're on the go, you need a one-handed snack with a two-handed taste. Wendy's new Chicken Go Wraps. They're not strips like some other wraps. They're made with only tender center-cut chicken breast in home style, spicy, or grilled, each just $1.49. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Now eat way better, way later.
I need you. I need you every single day and I want you. I want you every single way and it's love. It's love. It's love. It's la 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 la. It's love. It's love. It's love. It's la 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 la. And I want you. I want you every single day and I need you. I need you every single way and it's love. It's love. It's love. It's la 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 la. It's love. It's love. It's love. It's la 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 la. It's love too. It's love. It's love. It's la 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 la. It's love too. La 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 la. It's love too. La 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 la. It's love.
Tonight, Lost is all new and more astounding than ever.
The only way to save our lives is to get our people off that island.
An all-new Lost. Tonight at 10/9 Central, following an all-new Grey's Anatomy on ABC.
The official X Games Moto Bike. Built for performance. 20-inch suspension, Moto X frame. Linear pull front and rear brakes, and Moto X styled saddle and fenders. Ride Moto X style. Available at your local Walmart store. Assembly required.
Back in Boston, Celtics up 19, but Doc Rivers, I know you're going to continue to stress defense. How do you keep your team's defensive focus for this final quarter?
Well, we just have to. I mean, we had the one stretch where we got the lead, and then we started making up our new defense that none of us knew. So we just got to stay focused, and the lead shouldn't matter. We got to play the way we play.
After a scoreless game one for Ray Allen, he's got 11 points in this game. How did he finally find himself involved?
Well, we just kept going to him, you know, and he got good shots in the first half, didn't go in. All he needed was one. That layup that he got was huge for him.
Thanks, Doc.
Thanks.
Mike?
Well, scoreless in the first half, scoreless in the first 6 quarters, 11 in that third period.
That's why you don't want to allow a scorer to get an easy basket. If he's struggling, don't let him get off by getting an easy chippy. Doc Rivers touched on it. Ray Allen all of a sudden felt good after that one basket. 19-point lead as the fourth quarter gets underway. Celtics had 76 all in game one. They've got 70 here, and that time LeBron James easily gets to the bucket.
And they're doing a good job. Again, the floor is spread because they're playing small, and Leon Poe is not a shot blocker, so when he goes to the rim, there's no presence there.
Inside to Poe, knocked away by James. And they say off of Poe's shoulder.
They just run a little dribble handoff into a high pick and roll, and James attacks Poe. And again, there's no resistance, and they're cognizant, yes, cognizant of the three-point line.
That's a strong, is that another definition? Definition? There's no definition, there's a definition. You just create words on the fly.
I appreciate that.
Posey for three. That's good. That's a big answer as the Cavs try to get back into here early in the fourth. James Posey is having a terrific series, especially defensively, but also 7 points tonight. Serbiak's jump shot won't go. And a reach-in foul on Posey.
Posey getting it done defensively, but a good job by Ray Allen. Pushing the ball in transition, gives it to Rondo. Stepping in for the jump shot. Here's Posey, knocks down the dagger and stops the bleeding for the Celtics.
Sam Cassell, who played very well in the second quarter, he's in for Rondo. Ruby Gibson has not been a factor. Ilgauskas getting inside, and he'll go to the line. So free throws coming up. Jonas Ilgauskas been terrific from the floor, 7 of 9 from the field, 14 points. Ray Allen his second foul. Neither team shooting well from the line. Celtics have missed 9. Cavs have missed 6. ESPN, more NBA playoff action Friday night, 9 Eastern. Lakers and the Jazz from Salt Lake City. Lakers took the first 2 at Staples Center. Coverage starts at 8 Eastern with Kia NBA shoot-around.
And the Lakers right now are an offensive juggernaut. I mean, they are big, they can pass, they can shoot, and they can go off the dribble. I mean, they really have it all together on offense.
And they've got the MVP, Kobe Bryant. So proud of finally getting it. Allen for 3. Ray Allen has found his shot, and it's a 22-point lead, largest of the game. Ilgauskas. Well, just a matter of time before Allen found the groove.
Well, he's one of the greatest shooters that's ever lived. You know it was just a matter of time. And right now, Wally Serbiak giving him too much room, doing a great job of reading screens, coming off, getting looks.
Allen this time to the basket, stolen by James. James amongst the league leaders in steals during the regular season, 10th in the NBA. Gets inside, back out. Pavlovich, he's a good three-point shooter, and comes up short that time.
Really had Wally Serbiak wide open in the corner. That's when you want to make the extra pass. Instead, Pavlovich shoots and misses the open 3.
Celtics have done a terrific job on the boards tonight, Jeff.
And they have, and that's Cleveland's greatest strength is their rebounding when they play big. And so that's a good thing by Boston, shutting down the strength of the Cavaliers.
And there's the strength of Paul Pierce. He's got 15. And they've scored more points already than they did in all of game 1. Posey, the deflection. Picked up by Ray Allen and fouled from behind. That basket won't count. But James Posey, it's a clear path foul called on Gibson. Fouled him from behind, so they'll get a shot on the ball. It's been all Celtics here in game 2.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. And the new Capital One Card Lab at CapitalOne.com. What's in your wallet?
What if Israel's greatest soldier dreamed of being New York's hottest hairstylist?
Have you ever worked with kids before?
At least it's a good time to shave his neck. I would get him quick.
On June 6th.
Stay out of my business, Mustafa. This is not my name. You like to insult people? Was that your feet? Yes.
Adam Sandler.
Deals 4 more.
You don't mess with the Zohan. Rated PG-13, June 6th.
Oh, yeah, that's my man. Okay, here he is. They said you'd never be back. I could not wait for you to get here today so I could tell you that. Ba-ding, blam, and there you are. We got a new ride up in here? What is this? That's the new season smell right there. These are words of wisdom I'm going to impart onto you right now. Basketball, basketball, basketball. I can see the fire in your eye. Let me get a fire extinguisher and get that fire out your eye. I keep trying, but I can't get it out.
The Yukon Denali from GMC.
This is our year, baby!
Engineering that happens when you never say never.
Now I create my own Capital One credit card.
Set rewards to cash back.
Yes, master.
And a low interest rate. Oh, and I want that photo of me and Astrid. Yes, that's it.
Now hit the switch! It's alive!
No, it's not. Well, not literally. It's not.
Introducing Capital One Card Lab. Customize your card by choosing your rewards, interest rate, even upload your own image at CapitalOne.com.
What's in your wallet?
Old Spice is the bare knuckle, straight arm tackle, heavyweight deodorant that gives the best game, set, and match, high step and sudden death, double overtime performance in the pit fight against odor.
Safe!
From odor, thanks, Old Spice.
All your life, you have a dream. A dream too. Come on, Baron, let's go. All your life, you have a dream. No, my friend. It's pronounced a dream. A dream? No. You have a dream? No, you have a dream. No. You want to make the playoffs next year, you change your hair. What now? No, and the build. You a point guard or a point goat? I fix. Cut! All your life, you have a dream. That was good, right? You're welcome.
Mark Jones with this Born Conspiracy studio update. Chauncey Billups of the Detroit Pistons says today that his sore right hamstring, which he suffered right there in Game 3 last night, is still very sore. He is uncertain as to whether he'll be able to play Saturday in Game 4. Meanwhile, Hornets and Spurs coming up next right here on ESPN. The San Antonio Spurs looking like they have a little levity there, but they're shooting just 41% from the field so far in the series. All that experience they have hasn't played a factor so far. Come back to you guys.
All right, Mark, in the second round, home teams won every game thus far. Celtics up by 22. Time for our Cooler Talk presented by Gatorade. It's all about defense and guarding LeBron James.
It is, and the Celtics again have done a great job of making him a jump shooter, coming off catch-and-shoot plays. In the post, they're committing a second defender to making him be a passer. Pick and rolls are trying to corral him. No need for James to double clutch that, go up and over Poe. And here, again, just like in game 1, sometimes stars miss makeable shots. And James has had a number of drives that he should and has before converted. He needs to do that in game 3.
Meanwhile, Ray Allen shooting 2 free throws, and they'll get possession on the clear path foul. There you see the 2 for 18. He's scoring more, but the shooting percentage still down. So on clear path, you get the 2 free throws and possession of the ball as the lead is ballooned to 24.
I like the fact that defensively for the Celtics to say, well, you don't give credit to one guy doing a good job on LeBron James. It is a total team effort defensively.
Well, I tell you, Posey has been magnificent. Obviously, not one man stops him, but Posey's been great. Cassell shot blocked by Delonte West.
I agree. I think Posey's energy, along with Poe and Cassell, kept Boston in the game when their starters got off to such a poor start.
Now, of course, this game still has 8.5 minutes remaining. But when you talk about the Celtics and this great defense, can they continue to play with this much intensity as Ilgauskas knocks down that shot when the series shifts to Cleveland? It wasn't the case in the first round when they lost all 3 road games in Atlanta to the Hawks.
Well, I expect the Cavs at home to get plenty more easy basket opportunities and pick up the pace. You want to push the basketball at home and guys get confident.
Zerbiak is fouled. Poe makes sure he doesn't get the basket. And Zerbiak will shoot a couple. Lead 22 right now. See, perfect at home. Defense unbelievable. And a far different story in those 3 games in Atlanta.
And there should not be that big a fluctuation between home and road defense. Your defense, because of the intensity and passion, should be able to produce similar numbers. Not as good at numbers on the road as at home, but at least similar numbers.
Now, how about this? Now, clearly the Cavs are a much better team than the Atlanta Hawks. But in terms of matchups, for what type of team the Celtics are, in some ways, are there certain matchups that were more difficult for them to play Atlanta than Cleveland?
I think the athleticism across the board, when you're talking about having a power forward in Josh Smith that can play multiple positions, his explosiveness, changes shots defensively, good in transition, they created matchup problems. When you look at the Cavs, these are spot-up shooters and then a special talent in LeBron James, so it's a much easier matchup.
Under 8 minutes remaining here, 4th quarter. After the first quarter, all Celtics. Pierce can't get it to go. Posey with another steal. 4-on-2. Pierce, Cassell for 3. Posey trying to save it, but he stepped out of bounds as he goes flying into the first row over the photographers. He has just been superb.
I love James Posey. I'm not afraid to say it. This man comes to play, and he knows what his role is. You don't see him trying to drive the ball. He's a shooter. He's an energy player. He's a defender. He knows exactly who he is.
I like the idea, too. He understands. If you're going to jump into somebody's lap, jump into the owner's lap.
Ilgauskas short. Garnett the rebound. Posey, for most teams that he's played on in his career, now this is his 9th year, he's played with 5 different teams. He usually leads his respective team in charges drawn. That's the kind of player he's been. And he's also developed a good 3-point shot as his career has gone on. Shot clock winding down. 2 on the clock. Cassell won't go, and Ilgauskas tips it. West was down on the floor. He had to be careful. Again, there's the help defense to shut him down. James this time to 3. Won't go. Posey the rebound.
You see, the strategy doesn't change. Even if you're Poe defending LeBron James, you understand. Make him a jump shooter. Give him a cushion and force him to beat you from the perimeter.
Nearly stolen by West. Cassell to Garnett. Kevin Garnett knocks it down. 13 points, 12 rebounds for Garnett. Well, after shooting 31% from the field in game 1, the Cavs just 36% here in game 2. That one's not. And we'll have a timeout.
If you're LeBron James, ISO, and you can't say, okay, everybody get out of my way, because the white jerseys are not going anywhere. They're going to stay there and help and force you to get rid of the basketball. Stay at home on LeBron James. Make him a jump shooter. Switch comes. Poe gives him a cushion. If you're going to beat me, you're going to have to beat me with a contested jump shot.
After game 1, he gave credit to the great Celtic defense. Might have to do the same thing after game 2.
What's that, like your 5th All-Star game?
Not that I'm counting.
You should get a whole block on the Walk of Fame,
Yeah,
man.
to name a constellation after you. Orion or Cassiopeia or something like that.
Let me get a little warmth off you, because you're kind of hot right now. Don't get soft like the inside of this car here.
This car's so comfortable, I'll stick my hand in there.
My hand fall asleep. Never let up. Eat right. Never let up. Never let up. That should be your mantra. Never let up.
The Yukon Denali from GMC.
Never let up.
Engineering that happens when you never say never.
We've been to Dayton, Green Bay, driving across the USA.
Kansas City, passing through, stopped in for some barbecue.
Need a place to spend the night? Sleeping always gets it right.
Internet, high speed, 30 emails left to read.
66 detour, let's just take a couple more.
San Jose, had our fun, one last chance to get some sun.
This spring, apply for the Choice Privileges Visa card and use it to stay at Sleep Inn, Comfort Suites, Quality, or Clarion Hotels to earn enough points for 2 free nights. To apply, visit choicehotels.com. Choice Hotels, we'll see you there.
DirecTV is doing very well in customer satisfaction. What do we do?
I learned this in business school when I read about business school in a book. We can't improve our service, but we can improve the price. We can make it higher.
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
We'll get the people with disposable income, and they can dispose of it to us.
And they don't watch TV. They're workaholics.
They wouldn't know HD if they'd sat in their lap and called them mama.
Get more TV for your money. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Two, please.
In a place that's everything you could want, there's only one beer to have, Miller Lite.
Mark Jones in the studio with SportsCenter Right Now updates. Former Patriots employee Matt Walsh has sent the NFL 8 tapes which revealed New England recorded play calling signals of 6 different games between 2000 and 2002. That includes the AFC Championship game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, the NBA naming its first team All-NBA today. Kobe Bryant was on it. He was the only unanimous choice. LeBron James on it, Chris Paul as well. KG and Dwight Howard making it for the first time. You'll see Chris Paul in the next game coming up from San Antonio. Mike?
Mark, thanks. 22-point lead for Boston here in the fourth. Time for our GMC game track. Mark Jackson, take it away.
Same old stuff. Game 2, Kevin Garnett, aggressive offensively and dominating the boards. 13 and 12. How about the bench of the Boston Celtics? Outscoring the Cavs 31-10, led by Sam Cassell coming off the bench. And how about LeBron James also continuing the struggle? 15 points, but just 5 of 22 from the field.
And I got a question. What media member didn't vote for LeBron James' first team? He should have all votes rescinded if Kobe Bryant was the only unanimous selection. Come on now.
I agree with you. It should be 2 investigations now for that and also for the Pau Gasol trade.
Now, why did you have to bring up that trade?
I think 4 of the 5 first teamers, I think Garnett, James, Paul, and Kobe Bryant all should have been unanimous first team.
I would agree with that. Howard, you could say Stoudemire deserves it, certainly.
There's Paul Pierce, and Pierce made third team. Meanwhile, the Hornets and Spurs coming up next. Second game of our doubleheader. New Orleans won the first 2 at home. Now they're in San Antonio. And I love the fact that Manu Ginobili made All-NBA third team. All the guys that made it this year was all on teams that won.
Yeah, but Pierce should have been second team. When you're talking about playing on the best team in basketball, he should have been second team All-NBA.
Over who? Nowitzki or Duncan?
It doesn't matter to me. You take your pick. This guy is playing with clearly the best team in basketball in the regular season. He's second team All-NBA. You tell me who you want to take out. It doesn't matter.
I wouldn't. I'd have those 2 ahead of him. Pierce hits the free throw. Care to chime in?
I would put Nowitzki's third team this year and Pierce second team. I would agree with my cohort.
We got a lot more in common than we would lead people to believe.
84-62. There he is with a steal, doing it at both ends. Doc Rivers thinks it's Pierce's best defensive year. And again, as we said this earlier, you could say that on almost every member of the Celtics. This was the second team. Nowitzki and Duncan, Stoudemire, and Darren Williams, to me, so deserving of that second team with Steve Nash. And then the third team with Pierce, Ginobili, Boozer, McGrady, and Yao Ming, who may have gotten higher if he didn't get injured.
Oh, he'd be first team. But Looking at that third team, what is going on right now with Carlos Boozer offensively? I cannot believe he's missing the shots he is missing. He's been struggling in both series, and I'm surprised by that because he is such a tough cover.
Well, one thing you go back to is the trade. Again, the length of Pau Gasol is disrupting what Carlos Boozer does best offensively.
James misses again. Posey gets a running start and will wisely bring it back out. And Boozer played great in the playoffs last year, helping the Jazz get to the conference finals.
Well, who did he play against? The defense of that Houston Rockets team, right? I don't know.
Are you glad you agreed with your cohort? Pierce gets fouled.
That was a cheap shot, but something I'm used to. That's a flagrant foul in the broadcasting booth.
And there, the first two games, Kobe Bryant, terrific. Boozer, very unlike him, those kind of numbers.
But it's that free throw discrepancy. You know, when Bryant lives at the line, or you live as the line at the team, it's a two-pronged effect. One, you're scoring easy points, but two, you're keeping Utah out of transition where Darren Williams is so good, and now they're having to play against a set defense that is very, very long in the LA Lakers team.
The advantage is you look at Kobe Bryant, you say LeBron James, is there a way to defend him? Well, make him a jump shooter. You look at Kobe Bryant, there is no way to defend him and comfortably sleep at night.
Pierce's numbers. Again, excellent balance from the Celtics offensively, great teamwork defensively, and thus a 24-point lead. Game 3 will be Saturday night in Cleveland. In a primetime game on ABC. We'll be there at the Quicken Loans Arena. As the Cavs will try and bounce back. They're obviously much better at home. Joe Smith misses. James the rebound. And he draws the foul. Cavs this year in the regular season on the road, 18-23. So far in the playoffs, they're 2-2 on the road, not counting tonight. Garnett's fourth foul. Led the NBA in scoring. It was a spectacular regular season for LeBron James. Was 8th in the NBA in assists. We mentioned earlier 10th in steals. Third player ever to average 30 points per game and over 7 rebounds and 7 assists. Oscar Robertson did that 5 times. Michael Jordan once.
This young man is going to shatter a lot of records. When you talk about what he's been able to accomplish this early in his career, it is scary looking at him down the road. He is a complete basketball player that's only going to get better.
He has to get better in this series. It has been a nightmare start shooting for LeBron James the first 2 games.
The Big O averaged that 5 times in his career. Think about that. Jordan did it once.
Foul on Cassell. And James will go to the line.
Can you imagine LeBron James playing then, though? I mean, let's be realistic. This guy is one of a kind. We have not seen a player like him.
I agree. The defensive schemes, the defensive intensity, the athleticism is totally different today in the NBA. But still, you can't diminish the Big O.
Why are you putting words in my mouth? I didn't diminish the Big O. How about Pierce? Can't diminish what he did tonight and the fans showing him love. You're trying to start a lot of
No, the Big O is in Cincinnati saying, who is Mark Jackson to go at me? I would have backed him down like he backed down a lot of smaller guards and shot over the top of him.
Garnett's going to get his curtain call now as well. 13 and 12. He didn't have to score 28 tonight. Excellent offensive balance from the Celtics. James has, you look at the numbers, 21 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, but just 6 of 24 from the field. And James is going to come out of the game. So both coaches taking out the key players. What a difference for Pierce and Allen after the struggles offensively in game 1.
If you're Doc Rivers, you have to feel really good about that. Not that you were concerned at all about Ray Allen, especially after struggling not scoring, but to see him actually get it going offensively and begin to knock down shots takes so much pressure off of the Celtics' big 3 and the rest of the offense.
But I guarantee Doc Rivers right now is thinking about what he's going to say to his team in the locker room and tomorrow to try to get them up to the intensity and passion on the road that they've shown here at home so far in the playoffs. And when you go 2-0 to somebody else's place, the natural tendency is to let up, and the Celtics have to avoid that.
Well, they felt that was the case in Atlanta. During the regular season, the Celtics were the best road team in the league record-wise. But they were taken to the full 7 games in the first round. Joe Smith inside. And Big Baby Davis the rebound.
Look at the luxury of Doc Rivers. Eddie House is a guy that hasn't played so far. A knockdown shooter, a guy you can trust coming off the bench. Knows his role, but the luxury of having a guy like that in your hip pocket.
Under 3 minutes remaining in what has turned into a Celtic blowout. Tony Allen the foul. And we'll take a break. All Boston on the verge of going up 2-0 in this series. Right now, let's go to the studio and Mark Jones.
All right, Mike, New Orleans, Peja Stojakovic. He has been sizzling in the series so far against the Spurs. 25 points in Game 2, 22 in Game 1, and lots of experience. That's coming up.
What does the GMC Spring Collection mean to you? It means not sacrificing capability for fuel economy. Acadia, better highway fuel efficiency than any 8-passenger SUV. Sierra, the best available V8 fuel economy in a full-size pickup. And Yukon Hybrid, the first full-size hybrid SUV. The GMC Spring Collection. Now current vehicle owners and lessees get $4,000 total customer cash on all Sierra 1500 extended and crew cab models. The Spring Collection. See them now at your local GMC dealer.
Boy, chili cheese cone is only 99 cents.
99
It's a
cents.
good deal, huh?
Definitely getting that. Say hello to my little friend, George Washington.
Oh, nice.
Uh-huh.
Nice. You gonna pay?
Nope, just wanted you to say hi. So,
great.
George, this is Pete. I've been telling you about. Now, get back in there.
I'd love to see you again.
99-cent regular chili cheese coney. Now at Sonic. A hearty dose of Sonic deliciousness for just 99 cents. And stop in for happy hour. Half-price fountain drinks and slushes every day from 2 to 4 p.m.
Rated M for mature. They told me I would be the best. They gave me the best weapons. And they gave me nectar. It made me feel invincible. But for every high, there's a low. Now I'm fighting back. Haze on PlayStation 3.
At the end of a long, hot day, grab a beer with a taste as cold as the Rockies. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Boston Celtics and Southwest Airlines care about the community. The tandem recently holding their annual assist cleanup day with Brian Scalabrine and Glenn Davis. Players taking part in beautifying the McKay School, one of 20 schools to take part in the effort. All part of the 9th annual Assist Community Service Contest. Contest encouraging students to improve their communities by being a part of a service project. The winning team receiving a trip to Washington, D.C. with a Celtics player, courtesy of Southwest Airlines, the NBA, where caring happens. Kevin Garnett loving every minute of it. His first year in Boston got off to a great start. Opening night at a 20-20 game. He went on to have the best record in the NBA with 66 victories. He got the NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Now playing in the second round, ready to take this 2-0 advantage.
And this might be their best chance to win it all. There's no guarantee coming back next year that they're going to have the same urgency or luck with a few injuries, or that the older guys don't slow down a step. So they got to take advantage of their opportunity.
I'll tell you, as a guy that played 17 years in this league, when you have an opportunity to have a legit chance to win it all, you got to capitalize on it because you never know.
left remaining. And if you're just tuning in, the Cavaliers hit 7 of their first 10 shots from the field. They went up by 12 about 9 minutes into the game. And then Doc Rivers brought in his bench. The bench was superb, especially in the second quarter. And it's been all Celtics, up by as many as 24. Don't forget, second game of the doubleheader coming up. Hornets and Spurs from San Antonio. And Davis throws up a brick. Smith the rebound.
I like Davis's ability, though. He has played some very good games this year against very good teams. With Detroit, he finished around the basket. He's a good team defender, and you see these incredible defensive numbers back-to-back. Giving up in the low 70s tonight again, most likely. Holding teams to 35% shooting, and then who could have thought the King could have been stopped by anybody other than the Gladiator?
Well, because of the final score, what will be, this will be now the first 6 home playoff games they've held their opponent 85 or fewer. And that's tied for the longest streak at the start of a postseason in the shot clock era. Bulls did it back in '96. The Heat did it in 2000. Again, that's just home playoff games. But they have just been dominant defensively here in Boston. Eddie House, who lost a lot of his minutes when they signed Sam Cassell, fires away. Has the ball tipped back to him. And one of the things you love about the Celtics is when the reserves get a chance to play, even in mop-up duty, as House misfires, the starters are all fired up on the bench for every positive thing they do.
And these are accomplished starters. These are guys that have done things in this league. When you look at Pierce, Garnett, Allen, even Posey winning a title with the Miami, these are guys that are into it, showing the same type of love that the role players do when they're in the ballgame.
And there's Devin Brown, 88-71. After the close game that went down, wasn't decided until the final shot in the final seconds. This one has been all Celtics from about mid-second quarter on. House. And a moving screen on Davis. So LeBron James, after going 2 for 18, goes 6 for 24. But as we mentioned, remember last year against Detroit, he struggled first couple of games. They were 0-2 down to the Pistons in the conference finals. And then he put on one of the more dominating playoff shows we've seen. Pavlovich flips it in. So Boston remains perfect on their home floor. Tony Allen fouled by Jones. They'll go to 6-0 in the postseason. That's after a 35-6 home record during the regular season.
So the problem is when you look at what as KG's taking his shoes off, night's work is over. You look at the way that the Pistons defended LeBron James. He was able to get whatever he wanted in the playoffs last year. That's not going to happen against this Celtic team. They are going to force him to beat him with jump shots, and if he does, then they're willing to go home. But that is the only way that he's going to dominate this series.
So the Cavs will dribble it out. Shot clock and game clock nearly identical. Boston takes a 2-0 lead in this best-of-7 Eastern Conference semifinals. Again, Game 3 coming up Saturday night as the series will shift to the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland. Celtics narrowly win Game 1 and blow out the Cavs here in Game 2. Their defense once again brilliant, especially in checking the leading scorer in the NBA, LeBron James. So another huge win at home for the Celtics. For a recap of tonight's game, join us shortly on ESPN News. Coming up next on ESPN, Game 3, Hornets and Spurs for our entire crew. So long from Boston. Now let's send it out to San Antonio. Send it to Dan Schulman and Doris Burke.
Mike, thank you very much. And what a stunning development early in this game, as everybody figured San Antonio would come out with their best shot, playing at home, trailing 2-0. A virtual must-win game. They missed a couple of easy looks. They've turned the ball over, and New Orleans has gotten down the floor and capitalized, leading 8-0 early in this game. Pre-game, here was the pep talk from Hornets coach Byron Scott.
We got a great opportunity to come out here tonight and put these guys in a hole that they know they can't get out of. All right? You got to understand also they got a lot of pride. You don't win 4 championships in 9 years without having a whole lot of pride and a whole lot of heart. All right? So we got to make sure we come out here and match their effort and their intensity right from the start for 48 minutes. If we do that, we're going to win this game.
Well, they certainly have done that for the first 3 minutes tonight. Chris Paul, the runner-up for the MVP award in the NBA, off to a very start, as is David West, as we show you the Sonic starting lineups tonight for New Orleans. The usual starting 5, including the vastly